Hey, another episode of Cardboard Conversations. As always, I'm Pat, joined by Bob and Matt. Thank you, everybody else, for coming along this evening for the show. Hope everybody's doing well out there.
What up?
Wow, that is enthusiastic, Matt.
Hey,
Dude, I've been in a very blasé mood the last few days. I got disappointed from Path of
really?
Exile. Yeah, Path of Exile did like their Exile Con. And
Okay,
they were,
yeah. Riker was talking about that.
Yeah, they were announcing PoE 2 and like when it's gonna be out, and nothing wowed me. It was all
a little lackluster.
It was all very. The next league looks kind of shit. It kind of looks like hot garbage.
Oh, really? Yeah.
It's the first league in like 2 years that I actually might not play.
Oh.
It's just, I don't know. It's like team fight tactics in Path of Exile.
Oh, okay.
It just looks stupid. I don't know.
Hey, what up, super fast?
But other than that, feeling
that
pretty
sucks.
good. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's just a downer. But I've been playing Black Desert Online, having a lot of fun with that. So
I've heard a lot about that game, and I hear it's brutal.
It's pretty good for me. They've made it significantly a lot easier to get into nowadays compared to when I got in.
Okay. Interesting. Black Desert, huh?
Yeah, Black Desert Online. I would say it's one of the best MMOs out there. I would rank it above WoW. The combat feels
I've
very,
heard
very
a lot of
good
things about it. I haven't played it. It's on my radar, but I haven't really played it.
The most brutal thing about it is the enhancement of gear. Like, it's not like WoW where like you raid and like you get like a piece of gear and then you're done.
Well, that's not what I'm talking about. Brutal. I heard it was brutal as in like the community, and like it's a lot of like kind of like Rust and Daisy and whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Face rolling
and
no. It maybe used to be that way back in the day, but I don't think so at all. Especially with the changes they're making. They're doing something called Marnie's Secret Room, which you won't know what the hell Marnie's is, but the Secret Room part, basically, you go to a grind spot where you want to like do a grind, and the world is shared by people, so other people can come in and like either start grinding in the same spot you're grinding, which is really annoying because then you have no monsters to kill, or you're competing on what monsters to kill, and then you have downtime. Downtime sucks because you're using buffs most of the time when you're grinding. Marnie's Secret Room allows you to go into your own secret room, your own instance of that area, and then you can farm solo without any issue.
Nice.
Because what people are probably saying, or what he's probably thinking of, is back in the day, people used to flag up, basically being able to go PvP, and they would kill you for your spot. It got less and less like that, and more of they would like message you and go, "Hey, duel for spot." And then nowadays, people can't be fucked to do any of that, and they just typically either hop to a different server, or I don't know, maybe it's different off-season server, but seasons are awesome.
It would be smart of them to do that, to change it up to instancing, because the PvPer griefers will drive away paying customers. It happens in every game. It's like and it's like one griefer can eliminate 15 other paying customers in a very short span, to where they're just like, all right, any casual player will be chased away immediately.
They have a system involved where if you flag up and the other person isn't flagged, you get negative karma. And then if your karma goes too low, if you die, your gems start breaking, and the gems can cost like 500 to $1 billion, sometimes 3 billion silver, which is quite a lot. And that's one way to like
kind of built in, stuff
PvPers.
to garner you away from it.
Yeah, they're trying to deter it. Right now, Marnie's Room already exists, but you can only do it 1 hour per day. They're changing it to be 1 hour in, 1 hour out, and then 1 hour in, 1 hour out, and you can kind of bounce back and forth. It's just kind of to try to alleviate, because there's a lot of people that came and started playing recently because they did like a really cool event. And this
Fallout 76 had something similar with their like season pass thing, where you could like get your own server. And I think some games now, with the advent of cloud computing and how easy it is to instance people's experiences, I think we'll see a lot more of that. And World of Warcraft was a huge proprietor in that. They were some of the people at the forefront doing that stuff. I mean, I remember back in like 04, 05 when I was playing WoW, they were doing some really cool, interesting stuff, really pushing it forward. And you know, in compare, it's really difficult for Magic to keep up, as so many different types of video games are able to change how their mechanics work. They can innovate and year after year push their products forward. Magic's having a hard time outside of power creep, and I think Bob's got a great example of that with the new Moonshaker Cavalry. You know, we were having a bit of a discussion on that.
Which is actually, you know, so if y'all want to hear anything positive out of my mouth about Magic, pretty much tonight, listen up now and cut this as a short. It's like, seriously, the Moonshaker Cavalry, if you haven't heard yet, it's basically the new Craterhoof. Have you seen it yet, Matt?
No, is this from Eldraine?
Yeah, it's from Eldraine. I'll just read the card. So as you can see, it's 5 and 3 white. Yeah. It's a creature, Spirit Knight. Now, it doesn't give itself haste like Craterhoof, but it's pretty good. It doesn't give the other creatures haste either. But when Moonshaker Cavalry enters, it's got flying. It enters the battlefield. Creatures you control gain flying and get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control.
Honestly, I don't think this will see play.
Oh, I do.
Craterhoof is so good because it gives haste, because it gives
it's more of a surprise, but I'm just saying it's the closest one you could think of, right? It's not it's not Craterhoof, and people will discover that. But it's in, you know, so if you're running non-green decks and you want this kind of thing, like if you're just running white, you know, spirits or white black spirits or white blue spirits, this is a great ad. It really is. It's a Spirit Knight, so it's good. It's not a bad card.
Give trample?
Huh?
Yeah, Craterhoof also gives trample. Like, Craterhoof's just so much better.
It can be, or it can, you know, like I said, this
flying.
Yeah,
they should have given.
It's really a shame that it doesn't give haste. Like, it should have at least given haste, right?
Or flying. White gives flying a lot.
You know, Trellisar is going to be great.
This does give flying.
It gives all the creatures flying.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what Moonshaker does.
That's better.
Yeah, so instead of like going through blockers, you just go over everything and whee. It's like, all right, well. So again, you know, I think it'll see play.
Oh yeah,
I don't know how much it'll see play, because green. You know, the big thing about Craterhoof that really makes it better is the fact that it is green. You know,
right? It's made for those
getting to
big
8 white. It better win right then and there too. But I mean, that's what Craterhoof does. However, white really not a big cheat creature into play color.
I do like
it
that.
Doesn't generate a lot of mana.
I do like that they did make it 3 white pips, though. Instead of being able to just splash in a little bit of white and play this card, you kind of have to lean into it a little bit more, or have a good mana base, you know, some sort of fix to get your.
But it's not a bad card, and I don't think it's super pushed, right?
Right.
It's kind of a slightly watered down version, and only slightly watered down of Craterhoof. I think. I think it'll be a hype card. Yeah. I think it'll be a push card. But now we dump back into, and we'll go into Eldraine, and just like I just learned about it tonight, watching Perp.
Oh yeah.
And I was trying to walk into the show because I was in chats with people in Discord about Magic, and you know, saying that basically I see a very, very dark future for Magic. We've talked about this, the three of us, you know, behind the scenes for quite a while now. Yeah, and I mean, that's what we were talking about all week. Like, I honestly, I'm going to say this: I don't know if they've broken it beyond repair. I honestly don't.
What's that?
Magic. I don't know if basically, I think the slow poison's already in the system. They can't unprint the card. I did figure out a way. So if you want to hear my take on how they can fix Magic and fix the overprinting, reprinting that they've already done, I actually do have a cure for that, but I don't think there's any way in the world that they'll do it.
Ooh.
So we'll get to that. Hang until the end of the show. I'll remind me at the end of the show, one of you two, about my potential solution, but there's no way WotC will ever do it. So there is a solution. I did come up with one. That's the only way I can think out of this corner they painted themselves into. Because I don't know, have you guys watched Rudy, where he's talking about, it doesn't matter that they've reprinted everything and they keep reprinting it. They're going to make the money, the chase cards, be the new thing, the one of ones like that. That's a shtick. That's a gimmick. How long do gimmicks really last?
I don't see it being particularly sustainable.
No, it's not. It's really not. And when you realize that only like a small handful, No matter if they try to go that direction, like the super ultra rare, like I don't even know if Flesh and Blood has an equivalent of like ultra rare version of it. We'll keep it alive, and I'll explain what the difference is between Flesh and Blood and Magic.
I think it
you
would be
guys know
equivalent
already.
to like the cold foils or perhaps the marvels that they do from time to time. Although the
I
new
don't know how
Marvel
rare those are. I don't know if those are going to be equivalent to like a 1 of 100 or a 1 of 500. I don't know.
No, those would be far more common.
So, well, and just say that, you know, relying on that to sell boxes alone, people realize, all right, I'm just going to take it in the pooper, and 1 or 2 lucky people out of 10,000 is going to get that bonus box. It's not sustainable, right? I was arguing earlier, and the guy was saying that, oh, well, old boxes of Magic, you used to get 30 to 70% of the value. I'm like, bullshit. You used to get like 80 to 90%, and quite more frequently, you would actually open boxes that you would make money on.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That was from the very beginning. They didn't start going
that's
down
why
the
I've got
pooper
so
until the
many
last
empty
year.
boxes back here, is because of how much of a thing that was, even in the last few years. Up until quite recently, I'd say maybe last year, Double Masters 22 was a good opening experience that, for me, at least paid for itself 3 separate times over. You know, was able to go through the draft box and turn
argument
profit.
that we had. You know, people trying to compare Commander Masters to Double Masters 2022. And when we were looking at Double Masters 2022, I just went back and looked at the numbers of reprints that you were looking at. So your faith that WotC wouldn't essentially just reprint everything into the ground. Do you realize that just last year, if you looked back 2 years, going back into 2020, right? You only had 2 other reprint sets. You had Double Masters and Time Spiral Masters. That was it. And then if you want to toss the 0.5 reprint set of Strixhaven in there, we'll even do that.
Yeah, right? With the Mystical Archives.
So, but between Double Masters 2022, just a year ago, and now, if you add up all the 0.5 sets, including Brothers War, Strixhaven, there are 5 reprint sets. 5.5, actually.
Well, and you also have to factor in the secret layers in the way that they ramped those up so much.
I didn't factor in secret layers, the increase in commander decks that are coming out with reprints in them.
Oh, every fucking set has a commander deck now, making them so much less important.
Hold on. So what I'm saying is I didn't count any of those. I'm just looking at like the actual reprint sets, the pace that they're increasing reprint sets. And now 3 of the last 4 standard sets have these extra mystical archives. Brothers War, skipped for Exial V1, March of the Machine, now Throne of Eldraine, or Wilds of Eldraine. Those are the 4 standard sets, the 4 last standard sets. I'm not really counting the Aftermath or whatever the fuck you want to call that weird thing. And Lord of the Rings was not standard, and neither was Commander Master. So the only one that really, there are 2 that really aren't reprint sets, and that's the only 2 things released recently weren't reprint sets, is Lord of the Rings and Phyrexia All Will Be One. The only ones that weren't.
It's going to be a while before we get into a good stride again, in my opinion. And
I don't know if we are.
Continue playing Magic.
That'll do.
I think it'll take quite a lot for Magic to die out, and I certainly, I see it more like an effervescent thing, whether or not it's in bloom or it's kind of in a hibernation phase. I think we'll go through a bad spurt for the next couple of years. We're going to get a lot of great sets that come out with new cards that are going to be wonderful. I mean, like you said, you got Moonshaker Cavalry there. It's definitely going to spice up some decks. And I don't have to be buying boxes of cards. I don't have to be ripping wrappers as much as I used to. I'm definitely going to alter how I interact with the game a lot. And, I'm going to be making that proxy video here again so other people can get in on that as well. I want the community to keep growing, keep spreading the love. And it's going to be a little bit rougher, I think, over the next 2, 3, 5 years, possibly. Matt, what are you thinking about that? Where do you think we are for Magic right now? And where do you think we're going to be in the next 18 months?
I think it's a little strange how much reprints there are recently. it seems like it's very much like building up to this like crescendo of all these reprints, and then I think it'll stop because they can't just keep doing it. I mean, they're kind of already doing it in All Drain, like they're already reprinting doubling season. But I have to imagine there's a point at where the uppers go. Maybe it's time to stop, but I don't have a huge problem with reprints. I don't think cards should be over $50 to $100. I think they should all be less than that. Except for like the older cards. Like I don't have a problem with older cards having value, but the newer stuff that just comes out, if you want to like build like a standard deck, you got to spend like $1,000 on new cards that'll get dumpstered on 6 months later. That's gonna suck and feel bad. So I think that they definitely need to adjust. But I don't know where they're going to go from here. I'm very curious. I don't think it's going to die. I don't think Magic's anywhere close to dying. But
I wasn't saying they're going to die. I'm saying that your value in your cards, the financial value, is going to die.
Oh yeah,
and the sealed is going to die. And people saying, well, that doesn't matter. Let me ask you this: what do you think? Yeah. And so this was part of my argument. What do you say the average person up till now, the average person that plays MTG, spends on MTG, their budget per year? The average. Not the low broke jokers and the whales, but let's just average it all out. What would you say what an average annual budget would be?
$666.
I said that's kind of low. That's like one box, one draft box per set.
Oh yeah, I don't think most Magic players do that. No, for sure.
I agree, but yeah, I'd say the average is probably closer between 1,000 and 5,000, right? I would say that the average person, people won't be honest with themselves. They don't like watch the pack cracking shit going on Lance and whatnot's channel. They spend more than $1,000 a year just on those channels cracking packs. And so understand that all you have to do is you can't even buy a draft box in each set unless you're like a Rudy patron or something at that $600. But I said $600 would be kind of low. But we'll go with 600 being a lowish number. You go much lower than that, you're really not keeping up with any format. You know, you just really aren't. So, you know, with boxes being $500 a box, it's going to throw the average right out the fucking window for like, you know, these super duper sets. And so I really truly believe that the average person, regardless of what they admit that they spend, probably and shouldn't, spends between $1,000 to $5,000 a year on Magic.
Yeah. So I just threw up a poll. How many boxes per set do you buy? 1, 2, more, or less than a box per set? Let us know down in the comment section if you're watching live. Except for Prime, we do not want to hear your opinion. Sorry, buddy.
So that's only part one of my question.
Oh, I like that, Solar God. It's not going to die, but it's in its dementia phase. I think it definitely is. It's on a broken leg right now. I think they've leaned too heavy, too long into reprints. And with how long,
we literally are just seeing it like in the last week, the reprints coming in Eldraine. It's not stopping, folks. It's only ramping up.
Ed buys his 5 collector's edition blisters. Yeah.
So, but if you buy that per set, that's over $100 per set, right? So, at any rate, when we look at that and we compare it to any other game, what other games do you all spend $600 a year on?
Fucking none.
Matt?
Path of Exile, sometimes if I'm feeling nice. But it's like that's like once every couple years, really.
Okay. And so looking at Magic, it is clearly
I don't even spend that much a year on like most video games in general. Like I was gonna say, like for all of the video games I buy in a whole year, it's probably less than the $666 mark.
Oh, okay.
But I think that
we're in that vein, but keep following me here. This is a rabbit hole. This is
cool.
Not a time to do a poll, folks. Yeah. So we've already established that the average on low is the devil's number. 666 is the average per year. And then we've already established we really don't, and we're all avid gamers here on this. We're going to GenCon next week, folks.
Yeah.
Actually, in like 4 days. And we don't spend that kind of money ourselves on any other games that we play. I felt bad about buying an annual subscription for 3 different accounts on EverQuest at $100 a piece. And I'm like, well. So at any rate, that's $300. And that's like my big expense for any other game. That's my biggest other game. So
But
now
it's not the
that being the
same.
case, hold on.
It's not the,
You're
it's
going to
not the
lose.
same.
You're going to lose more money on Magic playing it that way just for the cost. It's not just pure. Yeah, your other games you get $0 back, right?
Well,
But
I'm just saying it's not the same because some of the price, some of the money that we're talking about we spend is on investments. It's not for the game. None of the shit behind me on this shelf is for the game.
okay,
Right, that's
again,
a really good point.
but there's my point,
It's
right?
slightly
Is
different.
that is they're draining the value out of what's on your shelf right now actively. That's what every reprint should make you cringe, because anything you're holding on to, whether you're buying singles, whether you're buying boxes, the only thing they're not draining the value out of are your proxies, to be quite frank. Those are
Oh yeah, like that's
so
me and you, Matt,
I'll be honest,
motherfucker.
you and
They're pretty good.
it make playing cards. So at any rate, my point is, people that say it doesn't matter what the financial value is, you're deluding yourself. You're not willing to spend that kind of money on anything else. And the reason you're willing to spend it is just on this notion that Magic had some form of return. But even buying singles now, I'm not even recommending buying singles. I'm recommending, and I said it on other channels, I said it here, I think I missed last week, you need to, like, timing now is what you have to pay attention to. Do I need that card now?
Right.
And in all honesty, if it's not if you can proxy it and you're fine with the proxy that Joker until the dust settles here. Like, I don't recommend buying any Magic until the dust settles.
Like right now, you can get your hands on a proxy of Moonshaker Cavalry almost certainly faster than you'd be able to get your hands on a real one.
And it won't lose any value. It's already worthless when you bought it at 35 cents. And even if it goes to zero, which it did, it's 35 cents you lost.
Yeah, I mean, almost everything you purchase is going to lose money when you open it. That's like a pretty standard thing. It's just more about how much entertainment value or how much value can you get from playing it, using it, and then also then reselling it.
And that is my point about Magic, is that you used to be able to buy it, get some entertainment value out of it, and when you wanted to shift into something else, you kind of just traded around, maybe even up or down a little bit. And you got into the next thing in Magic, and it kept it in a far more financially solvent arena. Now they're draining that. They realize that what you have for trade equity and rebuild equity, they're draining it just as fast as they can. Holy shit! People have already forgotten about the fact they just reprinted the Great Henge back to back. Now it's doubling season back to back. How long before they take every card over $50 and print it in every set?
It's supposed to be a joke that they double season. Whenever you reprint a double season, reprint another double season.
There's 2 in every pack.
Yeah.
But hold on, I mean, I could be wrong here, but weren't doubling season and the Great Henge both only special cards? Like, they weren't in the core set of the reprint. They were just the special box toppers. I don't count that as a reprint, in my opinion.
One of the toppers.
Like, it is a reprint, but it's such a low quantity reprint that I don't think it matters.
Well, the Great Henge is not a box topper in Commander Masters, and neither
is
the
party tree, isn't it?
In Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
In Commander Masters, it's just like in the set.
Commander Masters is just another mythic you can get.
What's really fucking
and so is doubling season. And doubling season is just going to be one of the cards, and it's a limited pool, and you're guaranteed to get some of those in your set and collector packs. You're going to get multiples in your collector packs, and you're going to get one in every set box. So there's going to be a whole lot more doubling seasons out there by Christmas, folks. I wouldn't touch that Joker with a.
One of the things that has really irked me about seeing Commander Masters openings, and I was a bit slow on doing any recording for it, and other people just got content out faster. So in the collector packs, though, are cards from the Commander set. That the brand new the new cards, you can get those in the collector packs, which I really was not expecting.
They've been doing that though, so it's not a shock to me.
Oh, really?
They've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh man, maybe I just have not been keeping up on it, but that's just
they've been doing that.
I think it's very stupid.
You know this because of Ikoria.
Oh yeah, I've definitely seen them in there. Well, just because I've seen it doesn't mean I've noticed a damn thing.
It didn't register with you. I'm sorry.
You understand? I'm like.
I think they've done that in every
every time.
Yeah.
Like that's
The
I think
only
they
thing
did it in-
exclusive is
Did they do it in-
Commanders in Lord of the Rings. There's
Wait, the
certain cards that you
diorama has
only get
shifted
from
in
the
Magic?
sampler pack. That's the only reason the Lord of the Rings commander decks are actually holding value, is because they have exclusive cards in them that you can't get in the collector boxes. It's the only
that's
reason.
not bad,
Well,
yeah.
they're putting like different versions of cards that you can only get in certain places. Is kind of like where they're heading with this, and I think they rely
extended
far
or
too heavily on
borderless.
that's supposed to support the value of cracking new stuff. It won't. People are going to just stop buying. That's my prediction. Is you're going to see a massive drop off in the next 2 years.
Oh, and
Strictly due to
Richie,
these reprints of people buying any new seal. Like it's
So,
going to get down to just the gamblers. The addicts are going to be the only ones opening any kind of seal.
my response to the comment here by Richie Dubs, if I was wise enough to grade a doubling season before the reprint, I got rid of all of my Triomes recently because I saw they put one on the list spot recently. So
They only put one?
Yeah, they put one.
But that means they're going to be doing it like
right.
They're going to what they're going to do is they're just going to filter them in on every list.
Yeah. So
right?
they're just
rotate
slowly
one out
going
for
to
another.
just degrade the value on it, or they'll put them all in one set and they'll just massive print the shit out of it like they did Modern Horizons 2. Yeah.
You know what card I'm surprised to not see in the Wild of Ladrania?
What's that?
Urza High Artificer.
Oh Jesus, yeah. We need a cartoon Urza. That's the thing. Yeah.
He'll be reprinted again in the next 6 months.
Shoulder the Apocalypse might actually be an Eldraine just because it's a $60 card, and you can't have that.
Nope.
Yeah, right.
So if you're worried about just the financial value, it is time to get rid of him. I'm still, like I've told you guys, I told everybody, I don't sell anything. I don't trade, I don't give away, and I don't sell. I don't need to. Right? It's just purely disposable income for me.
Not that I need to. It's just that I don't actually care about. So I want either my deck to be all real cards or to be all proxies, and I'm just not like buying much more stuff. And I don't want to buy real cards. Like I don't want to spend $25 on a card and then watch it go down to fucking 12. Like it's a friend came over the other day. I showed him some of my cards. He's like, "How much is this deck worth?" I was like, "Yo, it used to be worth like $750, but now it's probably worth like 400 something because Slivers just got the shit reprinted out of them." It's like it's tough for me to mix and match the cards. I want them either to be all real or all fake.
What's up, everybody?
So for the most part, just getting rid of the stuff that I'm not using anymore. I'm actually giving away some stuff to guys in my pod for them to build up decks. Hey,
I was doing this thing where I was looking at cards and like if they were at their high or close to their high, or if they've been flat for a long time, I was selling those cards. Like I'm not going to sell, like I'm going to sell my Shoulder of the Apocalypse because that's at its high and it stayed high and it's going to get reprinted, or something's going to happen where it's going to go down. The odds of it going higher than 60 is very low. So yeah,
do you still have your
backside? No, I sold that for 112.
Right. The only reason I didn't get rid of that Cabinet of Souls is because I got to send it back to Bob in 3 months.
I haven't even looked. So do we have a counter? Does anybody have a ticker on what Cavern of Souls is doing?
It still has.
I just want to say hello to everybody in the audience real quick, if you don't mind. Thanks to Prime and
back to 150.
Cosmic Seeds and Superfast, always like really, really quick on the draw. And for keeps, I'm noticing that you're showing up really frequently and early, and I appreciate that. Solar God, Dual Brain, DJ, and if I've missed anybody else, please forgive me. Oh, Richie McDubs, my thing hitter in the audience. I appreciate all of you showing up. Thank you so much. And for those of you that are members, I'm utterly floored by that. More even the gesture than the money, because that really says that you guys appreciate what we're doing here, and I intend to keep doing it. And sorry about missing last week. I was particularly, I'll be honest with you, I was pretty shitty last week, pretty salty, and I'm if imagine this tonight, and this is more positive than last week. I was pretty freaking salty. Yeah. TCG dude, there you are. And any lurkers that aren't even speaking up, please smash that like button and leave comments. Help interact here.
Share it with your friends.
Oh, look at that. Is that the cheapest version?
So this is the OG Avacyn Restored, current market value at 42. and it looks like you can actually buy it as cheap as 36 on TCG Player.
Yeah, but that's probably damaged. I don't believe that's a real. Click on it. It's probably heavily played.
Let's take a peek. See.
Yeah, so lightly played is 41, heavily played 40. It's going to be 41. Above 40.
Yeah.
The card's immune, man.
It's so say that, but it was a lot more.
Well, they have
how much it's been reprinted. It's immune to reprints.
They have a near mint one that is $40.
Exactly. But the highest it's been recently has been around in the 50s. So that's pretty good considering how many times it's been reprinted.
A year ago, the Avacyn Restored was at 67.67, and now it's down to 42.68. So it's a $25.
Holy moly! I think that's the first direct monies sent to us, folks. Is that the first super chat? I didn't even know we could. It
might be the first super. No, actually, that's the second super chat because I actually saw one when I missed. I missed
DJ, one. What? Oh shit, man!
Wow, we don't have a dinger, but ding ding. Thank you, sir. And I don't want to just be salty. When things are good, I will get on the hype train. Right when things turn around, and like I said, just as a teaser, don't forget I am going to give my opinion on what they could do to fix things, to make everything right. Stay tuned for that one. I haven't even talked to Matt or Pat about it yet, so this will be a surprise to both of them as well.
This is news.
I think it is a thing that actually could work, but I don't think they'll ever do it. So
also, if you guys noticed, there's I added some sub badges. There's sub badges out to the 6-month marker, and then there's also 3 emojis that you can use. That they're really they're based on me, but what can I do?
And I threw a couple on there as well. So we've got the
well, I had to remove 3 of them. I assumed they were just placeholders.
No, I put those on there. Empty wallet, whatever.
No, that one's still there. Empty wallet's still there.
Staying in the positive vein, I'm super hyped about going to GenCon this upcoming week. And so if you're interested in catching some content, we're going to do the best we can to do. We don't know if we're going to be able to. We're going to try to do some live broadcasts potentially at some point. We're going to try to give some coverage, kind of first look at Lorcana. We're going to do what we can. I plan to be there. I just talked to my daughter because my daughter's going with me. I'm traveling separately from Pat and Matt, but we're all going to meet up when we're there. I plan to be at GenCon at 6 a.m. on the first day, on Thursday. I'm going to be standing in line. So when them doors open, and I can be the first person in line for Lorcana to get whatever. Because I did read, wow. Let me back this truck up. So Lorcana, anybody, raise your hand if you're interested in hearing some Lorcana sort of. That's what I've been focusing on about the last week and a half, in preparation for GenCon. Whoa, we got a new member.
Solar God. Hey, thank you, man.
There you are. So I called the LGS that I placed a fairly significant order. I don't remember. It was around $2,200, $2,400 of Lorcana. And it was more of a wish list. I'll buy it if he gives it all to me. But I called back because I heard, allocations are going out, and I've heard really not great news about allocation for Lorcana. And they told me specifically, it was very weird, that I'll just either get it or I won't. I was like, well, okay, have you not heard allocation numbers? That's kind of weird. And she said that I told her, hey, I'm going to GenCon. I appreciate the information. We have a channel. I explained all this. And I was like, well, we'll go to GenCon and we'll let you know. And it was because of the lawsuit, because she said something weird. I can't remember the whole conversation. But basically, don't hold your breath on getting product is what she was telling me. And she said that they weren't selling Lorcana at GenCon. And they've released a press release, being Dave Ravensburger, who produces Lorcana, said that they're not going to let the lawsuit delay their release. They plan to release on schedule and on time. They fired a really good rebuttal. I read it. I recommend you to read up on it if you're into really mind-numbing legalese. But it was definitely a clear difference from the one that Upper Deck filed against them. It was just completely night and day difference, legally speaking. So I have a feeling that Upper Deck's going to end up on the bad end of this, but it's still poo-pooed on their release. It's like, okay, good job, Upper Deck. You did your spiteful little thing to Lorcana and kind of
they got to poke
added a little rain. But when I also read that in that same release where they said they're going to release on time and they can't wait for people to start buying their product at GenCon. So my LGS said there was not going to be any product at GenCon for us to buy, that it's only going to be people that signed up for the event.
Is.
And I'm like,
even just being able to interact with it, and then the events I saw that were announced for Lorcana were the starter deck. Well, not just that they're sold out at this point, but the actual attendance, summary for it was that you'd get a starter deck, which comes with a booster pack inside of it.
That's
and you
nice.
get
I like that.
Well, I think that's actually really interesting. That's a cool mechanic. So at the very least, I expect to see those floating around.
Oh, yeah. I hope that's not the only thing.
Yeah.
I have a question, Bob. What about Lorcana makes you think that it's a safe investment?
Well, first of all, I don't think that anything besides traditional investments are a safe investment, and even traditional investments aren't that safe. The safest investment I know of is gold.
Sure.
So when we say safe investment, you have to define that. But what makes it the more appealing investment? Is that what you mean? What makes it more appealing to me than other?
Blood, Magic the Gathering.
So I've said it over and over again. First off, they have an IP that nobody can compete with. Period. There's nobody, not even Pokemon, can touch the IPs of Disney. No, I'm not just talking Mickey Mouse. Disney has Marvel. Disney has Star Wars. So don't kid yourself that those franchises are smaller than Pokemon. You're out of your mind. No way. Star Wars is a way bigger. There's no Pokemon theme park anywhere. So
yeah, that's a good point.
There's no Pokemon channel.
Is there
right?
Is there a Pokemon?
So the IPs alone that Disney has control of,
probably,
plus the money that they have.
Oh yeah, there is. There's definitely a real life Pokemon theme park. Yeah, it's in Tokyo.
I was gonna say there has to be.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's not going to be as big as Disney World, but sure.
So
no, fucking sure.
Of course,
I don't even care. Even if I'm wrong, it doesn't really matter. Nobody knows about it. It's so really unknown that you guys don't know it, but you know that there's a Star Wars theme park. So,
well, I know that there's Disneyland. Is there a specific Star Wars theme park?
Yeah, Star Wars World.
Okay, I've never been to
just
Disneyland
like the Harry Potter
World
no, they have a hotel that's immersive. Like you dress up as a Jedi, and there's like scripted events that you have to be at or you can attend, and like it's a whole thing. It's $500 a night per person based on double occupancy. And that's just the hotel.
Yeah, Disney's got some shit going on. Like I definitely see that.
And that's one IP. Hold on, back this up. That's one Disney IP, not including The Incredibles, Finding Nemo. Cars, every princess ever, Moana, Mulan. Yeah, I mean, and on 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 and on. Right? Disney,
by the way, I want to interject one thing. I highly doubt they'll print anything Marvel in Lorcana because they already have their own game called Marvel Snap.
Yeah, well, so does
I highly doubt they would like.
Star Wars has like 1,001 games, so I don't know what makes you say that. And they just printed one for Fantasy Flight Games. I just got it.
But but they would just reprint another Star Wars game. They wouldn't use Lorcana, I don't think, unless they were trying to like maybe inject and do like a crossover. I don't know. I feel like the theme they're using right now
need to be a crossover. They blend IPs within the core set. You've got Mulan in there, and you've got Jafar, and you got Mickey, and you got like
but it's all like
they don't give a shit.
Cartoon Disney like movies. It's not like
again.
I think that there is a lot of room because they are so new that they can ilk off of so many other established games in the way that some of the better mechanics as far as putting different product lines together. I think that if done well, Ravensburger has a really good path forward. I was actually just watching, they released some more stuff for Villainous, which I've never actually played. Maybe we will in the next week or so.
I've actually played it.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about it. I've never played it, but I heard it was good.
Yeah, Jamie brought it over for board game.
Well, maybe we'll get to, throw some.
I might play it at GenCon. Like I'm interested in it. I almost bought one at and I think they had a Star Wars.
Well, so that's what I was just going to say.
Villainous.
Is they just premiered a Star Wars? I believe it's Boba Fett or a Bounty Hunter style kind of thing, and that goes to show that Ravensburger is getting a lot of expansion in their licensing.
Sure.
And that's the really big thing, is like Bob was saying, is that the access to all of these different IPs is starting to open up for that company. And I think that's a huge, break in the dam as far as the different lines of products that they could get through. I mean, even in the first stuff that we're seeing for the starters deck, it goes from all of the classic clamshell VHS movies that we grew up with to some of the newer stuff with Elsa as well. I think that they've got all the room in the world to fail. And they've got a lot of they've got a really good back so far, and I want to see what they do going forward. So I'm definitely interested in getting some recorded games of Lorcana when we're at GenCon. So look forward to that. Make sure you like and subscribe. That way you get notified when those videos go up, okay?
So, to answer that more completely, they have just a network of support that they can potentially tap that other games cannot even tap. For example, let's say that Disney decides in partnership that they want to cover the first Lorcana or some Lorcana tournament, right? Even if it's just a short that they put on their Disney Plus channel. Magic doesn't get that kind of exposure, period. End of story. Don't even talk to me. Like that's not even in the wheelhouse of Magic, even close. The exposure that they would get from that alone, above and beyond what Magic is just I can't state that enough. The exposure that it could potentially get that no other TCG can get. And that's just, imagine having a on-demand video that pops up in people's, Apple TV or Disney Plus apps and stuff. So you cannot you can't compare that to anything else. I'm not saying they're going to. I'm saying the potential exists that can do that. How about just, hey, for everybody that comes to a Disney theme park, here's a free promo card, right? There's no other game that can do that, period. End of story.
And
so
like I said,
there's a dedicated Disney collectible market that just collect all things Disney. Doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah. One of my friends is a big Disney boy, and he's got the Mickey Mouse fucking welcome mat and everything. He's got a Mickey Mouse door knockers, the whole nine. Absolutely. And like I said, I think that's exactly why I feel as though they've got all the room in the world to fail. That they've got so many good things lined up. They've got so many positive notes. These big failures are all theirs to make. It's just the follow through and getting people to play the game. I think that's going to be the biggest hurdle for them, is to actually get players, to get people turning cards.
To that point, they've already addressed that, and heads and tails above every other game that I've seen.
Ooh,
they are setting
50,
up
50, Richie.
I think you're crazy. I think it's way higher than that. I would say it's 80-20, 90-10 in favor of Lorcana succeeding. But they're already setting up tournament scenes. I shared the document with you, didn't I? About what their plan is for all LGSs. They plan to support the LGSs. They plan to have a vibrant tournament scene that they're going to support.
Well, hold on. What's your definition of success? Do you think Magic is successful right now? Because it's kind of in a shithole. But
Magic's got to be in one of the worst times to be a player. But I got to say, Magic's probably also making the most money it ever has.
Oh, for sure.
So, it's hard to say that Magic's in a shitty spot. As a player, I certainly fucking feel it's in a terrible spot. Why do you think 50% of all of my decks are proxies? And I'm looking to get that number even higher, looking at you making playingcards.com. And
without a doubt, the answer is yes, Pat. Right. That Magic is a successful game. I think its future looks very bleak, and I don't typically take any action based on just current Timmy success. That's not how I gauge anything in life, whether it's regular investments, my home, even games. To a degree, and especially something as weird as Magic's one of the very few games I own that I look at in this financial value. It's not the only one. I have board games that are worth way more than I paid for them on Kickstarter, because there's a lot of Kickstarter exclusives that people just like with those games. I have special cards for different games that are like $60 for games that don't have booster packs. They just have like these promo cards that you could only get at a certain event, and they commandeer some decent prices. Yo, Coach, thank you, appreciate that. Always appreciate you, Coach, even when you poke the bear. I mean that. However, I mean success. That's a great question, Matt. How do you gauge success? Financially for Magic, we'll have to keep paying attention to the quarterly reports and really digging through them and see what they mean and keep track of the numbers and quarter over quarter and see how things are tracking. And some of the hidden numbers that they have, like I said, are some of that goodwill number. If that keeps going up, that's a very bad sign for them. It means they're banking on their IP being basically worth more than the things that they have in hand. That the intangibles, they say, oh, it's great because we own this IP. Kind of like Louis Vuitton. If you actually look at it from like the bag's perspective, okay, they're a decent bag. Are they worth, $15,000 for a bag? No. It's only because of the IP. And if their IP gets trashed, suddenly Louis Vuitton's value just goes right in the fucking pooper.
Right.
So again, success is going to be a very difficult gauge. It's a very astute question to really ask. What does it mean? And it's the same. I'd say it's almost as amorphous or a shifting target as the I lost my train of thought. It's a shifting target, right? What does success mean? I can't really answer that because it is such a moving target. I do like that some people I'm starting to hear Magic's turning knobs. You hear this. What knob specifically? What metric are you looking at? How do you know that? What empirical data do you have? I heard that they're getting rid of Jumpstart, which I think it's both good and bad. Like out of each set, getting rid of Jumpstart, good. It's another garbage, SKU that you can get rid of.
But getting rid of it entirely seems like a bit of a burn the,
I think the annual Jumpstart would have been good, right? Yeah. But it can't replace some other thing that they want to sell that has higher pull. You know what I'm saying? So, I like Jumpstart, and so I like Jumpstart 1 and Jumpstart 2, not any Jumpstart attached to any set. The standalone Jumpstarts I thought were great. And I think they should do an annual release of Jumpstart, or even or a biannual release of Jumpstart would be just fine. I think they should go back to biannual reprint sets and stop attaching them to every standard set.
Right.
I think that those would be great starts, but again, the poison's already in the punch, right? It's just going to take time to filter through, and we'll see where it goes. Oh, I was saying, like, what does a dead game mean as well, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just as amorphous as what is success. Like, what does also dead mean? And I've tried in vain to kind of explain what I think a dead game is here. But let me ask you this: Is Star Wars Destiny dead, Matt? Truly, would you not play it again?
I still consider it a dead game. Yes.
Would you play it again?
Sure. A dead game doesn't mean a bad game. A dead game means that it's no longer being supported by, and this is my definition. You can have your own. My version of a dead game or definition of a dead game is one that isn't support. Can I go to TCG, Star City Games, the Kingdom one? If I can go to any of those three, Card Kingdom. If I can go to any of those three websites and purchase cards for it, then I don't consider it a dead game.
Okay, then stop. I want you to go to TCG Player right now.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at more products, and I don't see Star Wars Destiny.
Dude, Star Wars Destiny is absolutely in there.
Oh, yeah, it is there. So, yeah, it's not a dead game. Although, when you click on Star Wars Destiny, it looks
this is what I'm saying. How do you define what dead game is? It's very hard to say exactly what.
So to me, what a dead game is Wyvern. Wyvern, I can't buy singles anywhere. Any website I go to search
small of a print, though. I don't know that you could ever have really bought it anywhere. It was like a
dead game.
Flash in the pan. I would say dead in my definition is that it's no longer in production.
Well, that would be Star Wars Destiny, is it not? Or is it still being produced?
Yes, I agree. Star Wars Destiny to me is a dead game. But it's not that you can't get it. It's not that people don't play it. It's just that it's no longer produced by anybody. And I think that's what makes it dead, because it's not going to stay fresh. So eventually things fade into obscurity when they go out of print. That's just the way of things.
My question was how are you going to determine or what do you determine a successful Lorcana? Because I in my opinion, I foresee it going successful in the beginning, and then I see it dying off. But I don't know. We'll see.
Well, all things eventually die.
No, I mean dying off very quickly. I don't think it's going to last. I think it's overhyped, and it's going to underperform in most people's eyes. But I could be wrong. I don't know. Disney's strong. It's good. It's a
like I said, I think the
all right,
gameplay
Matt.
aspect
I
is
want you to
gonna be
get your
one of the
phone out
biggest
and
things.
write down a date, and we're gonna all three pick a date here, and we'll bet something on it. A pack of Lorcana.
the last time I bet, you won't even take my bet.
Okay, I don't care. It's at least it's fun. It's something for the audience to look at.
Sure.
And predict the number of years that it will take for Lorcana to no longer be printed by anybody. Not that it didn't get taken over by another company that buys it out, but is no longer in manufacture by anybody.
Disney
Well,
stonks.
that's too hard of a metric because they have so much money. Even if they're losing money, they can still continue to print. Like, they can still
Ravensburger does? I
inject-
have no idea what Ravensburger's financials are.
Right.
Well, no,
and
but
that's
Ravensburgers
the
isn't. They're
kicker.
not. But they're not the ones. Are they the ones actually paying to get the card
Yeah.
printed, or is
Yes.
Disney?
Yeah.
No, Disney's just licensing the IP to them.
Oh, so this.
Yeah, so it's like a
then
separation
it could
there.
easily fail quite easily.
Yeah.
But
I don't- I mean,
Ravensburger is a
Ravensburger-
well-established name.
Yeah,
They've
make
been around
good
for
games,
150
to be
years.
fair.
They've been around longer than Disney.
Yeah, they make good games. I've played a lot of their board games,
So,
and I like
again,
them. So
Let's
the
go
odds of
back
them
to
making a
the
good
question.
game is
Maybe we
pretty
should put
decent.
that in the chat too, right? So, go ahead and put it like how many, and how about we give it in 3-year chunks? Like, how long will it last? 0 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, 10 to 12. Right? Does it get past the sophomore slump? So what do you say, Matt? Before it goes out of print. He's lost in thought. What about you, Pat? What are you giving?
I'm trying to not be.
A Timmy?
No, I'm trying to actually analyze how successful I think it will be. The problem is I don't have all the data because I haven't looked into Lorcana at all. I haven't Googled anything but Lorcana once or twice.
Hey, Anthony's here. What up,
zero
MTG
interest
box
in it.
analysis?
Yo, box analysis chipping in there with a 4 to 6. So many people saying 4 to 6. It won't.
I think that again, the biggest
won't
thing for me
outlast
is going to
Yu-Gi-Oh.
be gameplay, is getting people into it and keeping the support alive. I definitely see a lot of strength in how Ravensburger is continuing to support their products. As we saw just this week, they put out new stuff for Villainous, a board game that's been out for quite a while. And for them to continue, making more stuff for their products and to also try and push some of the mechanics forward is a really good sign for Lorcana coming up. With the huge depth of the IPs, if it keeps doing well, that they would be able to license. I think there's so much going for it. It could definitely be a 10+ year game. I could see it sticking around and making it a huge splash. I could see this being a great game for younger folks. Sometimes the mechanics of like even Yu-Gi-Oh, if you turn 0 wins all the fucking time, like it's a real thing. There are people that play Pokemon, so I hear, but as far as Magic the Gathering, like there's a huge player base. Arena's a thing, so getting people to keep buying into it, to keep being enthused for the next product line coming out is a huge thing. And that's one of the signs for me that Magic is in a bad spot, is that with everything that's currently announced for Magic the Gathering product coming up, every single set release coming up, I am not interested in. Whether it's the Doctor Who decks, Doctor Who, I don't give a shit. Like, it's just not for me. As far as the Lord of the Rings second reprint wave, I'm not interested in that. I can't think of anything. Wilds of Eldraine, I'm not hyped for that at all. Like, weird cookie cutter monsters, it's not my jam. So I am definitely more interested to see with Lorcana what they can do with it. I'm definitely into it.
Oh, I'm way more interested in everything you just listed over Lorcana. I don't know. There's nothing I don't like Disney. Like, all the movies are annoying because they just sing 80% of the time, and I don't know.
I'm actually going to go out there and I'm going to say it's going to last at least 7 to 10 years.
Oh, I said 1 to 3. That was my vote. 1 to 3.
7 to 10 years is where I'm going with that. And I could be wrong, and maybe I'm taking copium, but I put a lot of stock into the Disney collectors out there. I think you guys are underestimating. As soon as they get their hands on that, and then you start seeing prices spike because of that again. We've already seen it with like something that us in the TCG.
Yeah, most people are saying 4 to 6 years, it looks like. And then it just kind of trails, mostly upwards at that point.
But nothing's successful right now. What that was my follow-up.
Yeah.
Nothing is successful right now. Everything is dying. And when I say dying, I mean like if you were to purchase a box and open it, or if you were purchased a box and sit on it in Flesh and Blood, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, all of them are going down. All of them. So what makes Lorcana any more special? I just don't get it. I just don't see it.
Because of the number of people that it appeals to. It has such a wide appeal. I hate to say it. I mean, you're talking about some 30-somethings here, but the appeal of Disney stuff is just, you cannot understate it. I'm sorry. You just can't. It is such a huge thing that I'm telling you, all they have to do is put it in the damn Disney stores at Disney World. I'm going to tell you, have you ever been to a Disney park?
No.
Okay, well,
when I was
let me tell you, those
13.
people, like I've been recently in the last 5 years, and every time I go into a Disney store, they're just crammed with people buying all the shit you could buy that are regarding some IP or another. It doesn't matter what it is. I like coasters, it doesn't matter. They're buying whatever it is, a hat, a Beanie Baby, a plastic toy that's going to break before they leave the park that's $20. It's ridiculous, the selling power that Disney has. I think people are very much underestimating that. And all they have to do is put those things in the store. Forget about it. Forget about it. All they have to do is put the boxes in the store, the starter decks. That game's never going away.
But I'll be honest, Bob. I've got to say, 100% honest and clear, Matt, I want to let you know as well. I am more interested in buying other products when I'm at GenCon than scoping around for Lorcana. There's going to be a lot of really cool collectibles and memorabilia from all sorts of different IPs, different artists and creators. I'm probably going to get some signatures and like meet cool people that are like voice actors and just like creators from all sorts of different media, whether it's, board games, card games, cartoonists. There's going to be a lot of really interesting people and items there. So I'm going to get some really cool stuff to put on my walls. I don't know why, but my apartment's been bare for way too long. So I want to get some really cool stuff while I'm there. Maybe pick up some play mats for my friends and stuff. Get some artist proofs, some single one-off stuff. Matt, let me know. What are some of the items you're looking at getting?
Well, recently I've been buying other card games. I've been spending more money outside of Magic than on Magic, which is it is
how much Alpha Clash have you bought?
I have 3. Actually, I just opened a box of Alpha Clash. I have 3 boxes of Alpha Clash. I bought a box of Grand Archive. I've got 5 starter decks of Grand Archive. 5, 4, 3, 4. Yeah, 3. One of each of the normal versions of that, and then Solar God sent me an additional version.
Did you just give somebody's phone number?
Yep.
Yeah. 8675309.
Like, what?
So and then Wyvern I bought. I'm so disappointed. I recorded it, but I haven't listed it yet. There's a lot of shit I've recorded that I haven't listed. I opened Premier starter decks from Wyvern. And what's really cool about the Premier starter decks from Wyvern is that back in 1995, I believe, they were being printed in the same factory as Portals, I think. One of the older sets, I think Portals or Three Kingdoms or something like that. And it's the same one. But they had the chance to have a Wyvern back and a Magic front in the Premier starter decks of Wyvern. So I bought 4 or 5 of those, and I opened them hoping that I'd get like one of those cards. I don't know how common it is, but it has definitely happened. So I bought 4 of those. They're only $20 a piece. I bought 5 then. Yeah, because they were $20 a piece, $100. I'm like, yeah, sure. I did not get it, but I did get some cool Wyvern cards. But as far as looking to buy at GenCon, I have no idea, to be completely honest. I'm playing this more by just I just kind of want to be there. If something catches my eye, I'll buy it. I have no plans. I have nothing. I don't even know what's there. Actually. I haven't looked at.
The best approach. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to experience it being there. When I was in Vegas, having everything like it was so hectic that I feel like I forgot things that I would love to have remembered or and it just felt like such a rush. And I'm like, I don't want to be rushed. I just kind of want to like relax.
That's exactly the same thing I'm doing with this, right? I intend to, just kind of take more things as they come. I understand that we're going to miss out on probably some events that we wanted to be part of. That's going to be a thing. We're just going to miss. That's just it. But I think just, looking around, especially being the first time you guys are there, I'm going to enjoy it. Like, we're going to like exploring, like you guys were talking about going and seeing the sites in Indianapolis. It's going to take you more than 4 days just to explore the sites inside the con itself and really kind of figure out what's going on. Just telling you right now.
To clarify, I don't even know. Pat was saying, I started looking. I don't see nothing I want to go see. To be
so
honest.
That's the thing is like there's at best 3 things in the entire city outside of food that look particularly interesting. And I'm cool with like skipping Meowschwitz, which is what I call zoos. And
there's a
so
zoo,
there's
a museum, there's a kids dinosaur museum, which I don't want to go to a kids dinosaur museum. I like dinosaurs, but I want to go to a kids version of it.
It's specifically like for children.
Specifically for kids, and I'm like, nah, I'm good on that. I don't need to be
really
around.
Hoping we will come across this. So keep your eyes open for this one. Hero Realms Dungeons. It is a co-op kind of deck builder. Right, so if you're familiar with what deck builders are, I like that.
Well, it's going to be there.
Yeah, I'm sure
they
it'll
have
be there.
10 events. I'm on the GenCon site. Dungeons? Hero Realms has casual tournaments.
No. Hero Realms Dungeons. Hero Realms has been around for a long time. Hero Realms Dungeons it was just a Kickstarter that just finished.
Well, if Hero Realms is going to be there doing tournaments, there's no way this ain't going to be there unless it isn't out yet.
It's not out yet.
It is on Kickstarter though. So maybe it won't be there, or maybe there'll be some like special way to like it being in.
Or maybe they'll have promo cards for this. I'm just saying that's what I'm definitely look out for is promo cards.
Exactly. That's what I want. I want exclusivity. I want to. I want to get all the stuff that I can get that is only at GenCon.
And I'm just going to say that this is no more in depth than Lorcana at all. Like, well, maybe this particular version, but this game is really not any more in depth than Lorcana. And it's still fun, and that's what I'm gauging. Like Lorcana doesn't have to be Magic; it doesn't have to be a standard TCG. It can be a simpler game and still appeal to a wide audience.
Well, one would say that a more simpler game is better for a wider audience.
What's that?
I said one would say a more simpler game is better for a wider audience.
I would agree,
especially if you're trying to like. I can foresee Lorcana being a stepping stone into I don't want to say a real. This is a little a more in-depth TCG. Whether they go the Grand Archive route, the Flesh and Blood, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, or Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, there's plenty of the major big ones that definitely have the potential to be converted. Even One Piece, I hear, is popping off. Card Fight, I haven't never looked at any one of those.
Sort of the hotness.
Sorcery is so overhyped. I don't get it.
Dude, I just don't get it.
Yeah, I'm off the wagon. I'm on a train next to the wagon, leaving the place. I've watched the gameplay of it. It looks very dry. People keep goo gagaing over the art and like how like it reminds them of the old days, and I'm like. And then there's like a promo card that's coming out, I guess, with the beta release of a naked chick, and that's like they're like, oh, they're bad boys, man. They're making naked cards, and I'm like, man, I can go to make playing cards, and I can get naked cards all day.
Yeah, right. This isn't news. Yeah,
it's not.
So
like,
I'm not like that big of a weeb that I want naked trading cards either. Like,
I think what it is it's representing the vacuum that's currently out there in the playing card world, in the TCG, CCG world. People want to find the next great hope. They want to find something that they can throw money into. And so it's going to be hyperinflated right now. I feel bad for the people that make the game because they're going to base their numbers, just like Flesh and Blood did, off of a ridiculous, unsustainable spike in their numbers. How do they plan for it, right? So it's going to be very difficult for the makers of sorcery to navigate these waters. Hopefully they're very, very conservative and they kind of stay within their means and they don't expand production. That's where Monarch really, kind of shit the bed is that they were planning for basically what they were seeing in demand. And when Flesh and Blood went all in on, Monarch and producing numbers of that scale, they realized, oh shit, we don't have the actual buyer base to support that. It was hype at the beginning during a black swan event in history that made TCG's forefront in this financial space. And all of them, I said it with Magic. I think Magic's still on that wrong train with their production ideas based off of numbers they've seen over the last 3 years. Completely unsustainable. Those are not sustainable numbers. And I think that's going to bite them.
That's a really good point that Superfast Turtle put. Sorcery is hyped because some people want to see Magic overtaken or compete harder for the TCG spot. I think the discontent that people have right now for Magic, I think it is actually hyping every other game that comes out that looks halfway decent because they're like, please, for the love of God, save us from this hell. It's a bad relationship between Magic right now and the players.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Well, people keep correcting me. Oh, they say everything that I'm saying is purely from an investor collector perspective, and it's not. I'm also a player, folks.
But as a player,
I do all of it, and
they've done nothing wrong as a player.
Huh?
They've done nothing wrong as a player. As an investor, that they're dumpstering everything. As a player, I'm
even
happy.
As a player, I don't want my cards to have to buy them, and suddenly they lose half their value within 6 months. If I want to play with a card, I have to buy it, and then it cost me $50, and in 6 months it's now 25, or any other card. All singles. People are saying buy singles. Don't buy singles, folks. Even the singles are tanking hard. Very hard.
As a player,
that's what players buy is singles, and it's bad.
The value versus price is definitely a hard thing to equate at this point with current Magic the Gathering sets. With what's being charged, it just doesn't seem like you're getting much for it. And I don't like draft all that often, so it's rare that I want to interact with that product line. If I want to just open stuff, set packs are cool. If I want to gamble a little bit more, collector packs are there. But one of the issues is, where are you getting the cards that you want, and all of the different products that are coming out? They make it almost confusing to try and get
not almost. You need to remove that word from that statement, Pat. Yeah. It's not almost confusing. I bet there would be trivia if somebody came up with a real Magic trivia. I don't know that anybody here could get it right. And we study it more than most. And I bet I don't have it all right, where you can get each specific type of hollow foil, varied foil, different version, the name of the great henge. Like, there's so much trivia right now. It's dizzying. Right? And I bet there's, name that set that this type of foil first came out in. That kind of fucking
I do see that as one of the hurdles, though, with the cards I've seen from Lorcana, is some of them have a similar naming convention to how Magic has, where it's like Teferi, comma, and then 4 different things could be there. Teferi Temporal Master, Teferi Master Time.
That's not Solar Games. That's Solar God.
Wow.
I was like, wait a minute, no, that's Solar God.
Their names are so similar.
Different than Solar Games. It's still a staple in the community.
They're both powered by the sun, all right?
They're both solar. Geez,
I've made the same mistake before as well.
But I agree with you 100%, Pat. And it's that's bad. Like, from a consumer perspective, confusion is bad.
Yeah.
A lot of people will you get a couple of suckers to buy the wrong things? Sure. But what you'll do to your standard buying audience that's used to getting things, wait, what? Wait, I can't get that. Matt opening up an entire box and going, wait, this card's not even fucking in it.
Well, and I think that's one of the reasons
that's
why
bad. That's a bad experience. Yeah. Every feel bad is bad for a manufacturer.
Yeah. I feel as though that's why Flesh and Blood has the 2.0 model now. After the big upheaval with Monarch, that wasn't good for them or players, collectors, buyers. Pretty much everybody had a bad time.
Monarch
with that.
Was good for nobody. Not even Rudy.
I mean, the set itself was fine. The release, it was the debacle. And going over to the 2.0 design of just having the single box and you can get blitz decks every once in a while, I think that's a really good model for them to keep doing. it's tough because it's harder for them to sell it. You know, the minimum buy-in, the decks are $11.99, and it's just Blitz decks. Versus buying a box, it's going to be like $90 to $100 for most of them, unless you're looking at buying some of the older stuff. That's just
So I mean, beyond
it's
all that,
expensive to buy into TCGs nowadays. It's only going to
well,
get
and
more and more expensive.
that's sort of the point I was making before about the budgets that people set, and what you don't realize is just how much you're spending on it, and then to walk away with that value just being bled dry from it. And that's not an investor, that's not a collector, that's a player. And then like, shit, if I'd have just waited, I really didn't need that Craterhoof Behemoth when it was at, or Cavern of Souls at $100, or Ren and 6, because that's definitely going to get reprinted down.
Or anybody who bought the Ur Dragon back in the day.
That's why I said, it's no longer about even which product you want to invest in or which product you want to engage with. It's when, like, it's that's already like something that should already be in your vocabulary. The idea that Blake came out and said, only interact with the products that you like, right? That's okay. That's common vocabulary. That's already a starting point. Now I'm adding, and I have been talking about this the last couple of months. It was an epiphany I had. Time. Is it time to buy the card I want? Do I need it now? Or can I wait for the next 2 or 3 reprints on it? Because it's just a deck idea I have. Or do I need it right now for my play group, for what I'm doing, or a tournament? It's no longer about which products to interact with or whether to get singles or a box. It's when do I buy that? Right? Like I honestly, I bought 6 boxes of Dominaria Remastered when they just had it for $111 a box. To me, that's what Pat always talks about, the value in it, because guess how many I cracked?
None.
0.
Yeah,
None.
right. Yeah.
You know when I'm going to crack those?
Probably never.
No, I might. No, actually, all my Magic products I basically plan on cracking.
Yeah.
Like I plan on, and if I don't crack them, I'll sell them eventually, maybe just to get them out of the way when I retire and downsize. But no, it's when we get together. I'm sure this won't be the first time the 3 of us get together.
To the point Bob was saying, I don't even know if Doctor Who is an actual set or if it's just Commander decks.
No, there's collector boxes of Doctor Who.
There is, but what is it? There's only collector boxes of it and Commander decks.
Right. So there's going to be cards.
So what kind of set is that only has collector boxes and Commander decks? It's a weird-ass set.
The premiere.
What is it going to be legal in? Is it just Universes Beyond, which I don't really, was that Commander and Eternal? I don't like what? Yeah. Talk about confusion. Can anybody answer that?
All I see is Commander decks and collectors. That's all I see on Amazon.
Like that's the first set that only has those 2 things.
It's super special, all right?
It's super weird. Okay. So what else is going to be in the collector boosters?
Yeah, have they actually revealed any cards from Doctor Who? I pre-ordered it just to have the reserve.
It has collector packs. I agree with you, Dual Brain. But what's going to be in there? Just what's in the Commander decks?
I got my pre-order at $217 for all of them.
It says that these will contain alternate frame cards, and they'll have 7 to 14 rares or hires with tons of special card treatments, including 6 to 7 extended art cards.
They're talking about the Virgins, but what the hell are they? What are they printing?
Reprint.
I'll bet they are. I'll bet that's what that is. I'll bet this is
just more reprint.
It's different named reskinned reprints is what this set's going to be.
They're just gonna take all of the legendary creatures from Secret Lairs and they're just gonna make them Doctor Who legendaries.
I'm just telling you, I think that's what this is. Hey,
how many?
All right, good luck there for keeps.
Is it 8 packs or 12? Looks like 12. 12 collector boosters. 12. Okay, that's my biggest annoyance from Commander Masters collectors is that it's only 4 packs. Like I would have actually bought Rudy did a sale last night. It was like $194 after everything.
Yeah, I saw your list. Was that the list that talked about going down to like 166?
Yeah, there was a collector. You could buy 48 of them, and you could do what was it? You could buy it for $8,160 something.
That comes out to $166 a box.
Yeah, it was 166 per box or 164 per box. And what's crazy about that is like that's a really good deal. And I'm curious, like how, like I don't know, because there's a lot of good value cards in there, but it's only 4 packs.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
mean, I don't know what it is. Super
very
fast. I
lottery.
agree with you. As soon as I saw that, and it's probably the first time anybody here has really thought about it because I haven't heard people talking about it, and I'm just like, what a weird set that is. Like, what are they printing?
Oh,
So
Doctor
we'll
Who.
see. Yeah, like okay, so what? They're talking
They're
about
like
the
Doctor
different
What the fuck is in
versions.
the box? Yeah,
Yeah, this is a Who's on first. Doctor Who's on first. What's on
Yeah.
second? Set. So I don't know, and I would bet that it is reprints. Like if it's not going to be a full on set, it's got to be reprints. I doubt they're coming up with brand new unique cards that are for Universes Beyond only.
just don't even know why they do it. Like, just
I do because they're draining more value out of what people have on their
try and
shelves.
sell more shit.
Well, that's not why they're doing it. They're not doing it
That's
intentionally.
exactly why they're
drain.
doing it.
No, they're not. They're not
Yes,
targeting
they
the collectors
are.
and they're not doing it on purpose, is what I'm saying.
Yes, they are. 100% they are.
No, what their goal is to get the singles to be accessible for everybody and not have $150.
You're such a Timmy.
I think
there's no cards at 150 anymore, bro, except for like Mana Crypt. That's it.
Dockside Extortionist. I just looked it up. For some reason, it's back up to 150. I'm so sad.
That's a version of a card that's at that price. What's the base version of it?
Oh yeah, the base is only like
$40?
$50. It's like $50.
Are you sure it's even at 50?
Yeah, because it's in one. It's
so.
in my deck. It's in my league deck. It's like 55.
So I'm with Richie on this. I think that they're doing it to make money.
Yes,
I don't
100%.
believe that they are being purposefully malicious towards collectors or investors.
I agree. It's not about maliciousness. It's about how do we extract as much money as possible from people.
Right. It's just an absolute byproduct of it. They want to reprint stuff because people will buy it. So the more of it that they do, the more of it that they sell. So they make more money. And the collectors and investors who are for many years the people that have supported the game. I mean, as a lot of Magic players know,
though. It's the stores that buy the boxes when they have to from the distributors and then get Amazon dumped before release.
Yeah.
You know what's really hilarious
They're
about
extracting the money
any
price way they can from Magic as fast as possible. Damn the consequences. So if you don't think that they're going to hit the reserve list, who wants to take that bet with me? Anybody? Any takers? Audience? I'll put a bet on it.
Oh, for sure.
I'll put on a bet in the next 2 years they're going to reprint a reserve list card.
No, I would take that bet.
All right, let's take it. Mark it down on your phone. Let's mark it down on your phone. And you name what the bet is.
The amount of flack they got from Magic 30. You think they're really going to go that route?
Did you not just see the recent thing that they were talking about it? Even Moxman or Perp was talking about the reserve list is basically going to get reprinted soon.
Yeah.
What information?
They just came out with a release. It was on the Wizards site, and it's got like this little sticker on it, and it was for Counterspell. But basically what they're saying is we can reprint anything so long as it's not tournament legal.
Well, that's not a reprint.
It is a reprint.
No, it's not.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it's the test cards. Yes. Yes.
I don't consider that a reprint. In my opinion, the only reprint that matters for reserve list cards are if they're legal in tournaments. That's my version of
the
a
rest
reprint.
of the audience. Then why the fuck did people get all mad about M30?
I don't know.
Right.
I got mad because they weren't real. I didn't get mad because they were fucking reserve list cards or whatever.
I was unhappy
why
because
don't
they
go
were
ahead and
expensive.
reprint them now anyways if it doesn't matter?
That was my issue.
I don't care if they do, but I don't think they
I'm
ever
not
will.
saying your personal opinion. Why don't they do it? Why have they publicly said they're not going to do it?
Because they got
Reserve list
fucking
is
bashed
sacrosanct.
from last time they did the Magic 30. I don't think they're going to take that flack again.
They just
There's no
literally
reason.
came out and said they're essentially going to do the same fucking thing on the test cards, and it has this little like hollow foil sticker on the front of it for Counterspell.
But Counterspell's not reserve list.
Okay, oh my God, you're such a Timmy. I can't go through this with you.
I don't know what you're trying to say. It's not a reserve list card.
Counterspell is an innocuous thing, but they're signaling that they're gonna attack the reserve list with these test cards.
I don't know about that. I think
that's cool.
That's grasping.
Okay, just like I was grasping 2 years ago when I said that they're going to reprint it, and out came M30 less than 2 years later.
But it's not a real reprint.
I said that they're going to reprint them as non-tournament legal, and they're going to do it again, and it's going to cause as much of a big stir, and people are going to lose faith, and they're going to Okay, fine. You say what you want, but that's what's going to happen. The writing's on the wall. And I think eventually, after they do this a couple of times, after they M30 things a couple of times and break people's what I foresee happening next, it'll be the cards that they didn't print in M30. Oh, well, people need to have Gaia's Cradle. You say everybody needs to have cards because it's like a card that's used in so many decks. People need that Gaia's Cradle. And so they're going to reprint that, and they're going to reprint Mox Diamond, and they're going to reprint Grim Monolith.
Do it.
I'm just saying, these are what's going to come out next. And then after they desensitize people, they're training us. I said this over and over again. They're getting us desensitized to what they're doing. And all right, fuck it, cards don't have value. Just go ahead and reprint reserve list. Nobody cares.
Dual Brain,
That's
real
how it's
reprint,
gonna go.
in my opinion, is a card that can be used in a tournament. Because otherwise, then they're no different than I can get printed at Make Playing Field.
No, they are 100% different. And you want to know how I know
in
that?
In my opinion, there's no difference.
Okay. So there's no difference in the price on your proxy that you can make versus a gold-bordered $300 Gaia's Cradle.
Correct. In
No
my
difference.
opinion, there's no difference. I would never pay that money because it's
and
not
I challenge you to
me.
take one of your opinion cards and try to sell it on TCG Player for $300.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that people don't value the card more. I'm saying there, in my opinion, I see no difference between a gold-bordered card and a card that I can get printed from Make Playing Field, Make Playing cards.
I understand in your world, but in the real world, a gold-bordered card fetches thousands of dollars, or not anymore, but a non-real. Go look at the price and selling and listings of the not real Black Lotuses that are selling for $24,000 out of M30.
Yeah, people also spend thousands of dollars on crack cocaine, and that's also not a good investment of money. Just saying that. Just
so real or not, tournament legal or not, printing these things has a real impact on the market.
Prime says Matt's part of the problem.
Those cards shouldn't be worth in the middle. Money. It's the idiots that think they're worth money is the problem. That's the problem.
I see that it is in a different class. It's not tournament legal, so it's not like the original cards. Agreed. Or if they were to reprint them with a real card back, they're not. If they were to be reprinted like the M30 cards with a different back, then they are a different classification to me. They're valuable. They are particularly rare, but they are not the original or reprints of the originals in the same manner. So I see that they're like that B ranking, they're not those A+ cards, the original shit. They're in a special little spot all by their own.
And here's what I'm saying about that is that's sort of like Pavlov's dog. If they keep having us push the button long enough and not care that they reprint reserve list cards in some fashion over and over again, when they finally push that button in a tournament legal fashion, it's not going to cause as much of an uproar. They're desensitizing us to it. That's what's happening here. Market, it may take 5 years, it may take 10 years, but market now. I'm saying that we're going to see reprints of reserve list cards in a non-tournament legal fashion in the next probably 6 months to 2 years. And then they're going to keep doing it, and they're going to desensitize us to the point where they just get abolished as a reserve list altogether. That's what I see happening with that. And I'm not even necessarily, I don't care about that. I care about the number of reprints. I think that is what is far more deadly. Reprinting Urza's High Artificer 4 times in 2 years meaningfully is just a bad idea.
Okay, so Commander Masters isn't technically out right now, right? It's also going to be.
I don't even know.
It comes out next week.
I don't care that I don't even know.
Well, the funny thing is that Doubling Season is announced to be reprinted in 2 different sets at this, that aren't out at currently in the shoot for 2 reprints. That's just wild to me that it's announced for 2 different sets. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. That's why I've been drinking Kool-Aid all damn night.
It is, again, it's going to get more ridiculous. I giggle because I've been getting shit on since the fireside chat when I was at Dual Brain. You can attest to this. They broke me. I mean, at that moment, that it just It was a clear signal. We're going to reprint. And I said, they're just going to reprint the shit out of everything into the ground. And since then, that's all they're doing. Like the Eldraine, it's getting to the point where I'm getting desensitized to like, it's just another reprint set. We've only had 2 sets since Unfinity that are not at least half a reprint set.
What's funny about using proxies and people talking about whether proxies are okay or not, I actually didn't used to be a proxy guy. What made me become a proxy guy was when I was playing with my group, my local group, and I had more money than my friend, and that means that I could build a better deck than my friend. Not 100%, but just saying that I have access to the higher power cards that cost more money than he did. And I don't think that's right. If we're just playing casually for fun, it makes my wallet shouldn't be able to I shouldn't be able to crush him with my wallet. Like, that's just stupid. So we got to the point where it was just like, well, then we'll just allow proxies, because then no matter how much money we have, we'll all be at the equal power level. And then it becomes of how good of a deck builder we are, how good of a player we are. It doesn't matter how much the cards are worth. And in my opinion, that's the better way to play Magic. Like, the cards could all go to 1 cent and I wouldn't care. I'd still play the game. Now, granted, the game would die and that would suck for all the investors and all that kind of stuff. But as far as like a very niche window in my life where I'm just still enjoying the game itself, the mechanics of the game, I don't care how much the cards are worth. I don't care if my friend has a signed Gaia's Cradle or a fake one that he signed himself and wants to pass it off. It doesn't matter. Like, the version of the card doesn't matter. It can be a ton of my decks have a piece of paper printed in front of a land, and that's most of my decks at this point, because I build so many decks. I'm not going to buy all the cards.
Well, and honestly, so let's get to the nuts and bolts of exactly what you're saying, Matt. And I agree with that. That was the whole purpose of basically creating Commander Raids, is that we wanted to give something that's fun, free. Even the cards that are the bomb in that freaking format, they're cards that are generally like $2 cards, cards that didn't have a home elsewhere. It's just a vitalized way. I keep beating the drum, and those of you that have played understand that it's a very different way to look at Magic, and I enjoy that. That's the biggest way I enjoy Magic, period, at this point. I don't buy anything anymore because it just feels gross and icky, and it's just going to lose value. Why spend the money on it? I don't think that it's going to turn, or even if it does turn around, even if they come up with some solution. So those of you that have hung on, now I'm going to go into Positive Bob. How do you fix this?
Going for it. He's going.
I told you guys I was going to do it towards the end of the show, and I don't know how close we are to it. We may be wrapping it up soon. So I thought, how do you fix this? It's something I've been, cogitating on for quite a while. I have really struggled with, how do you fix this? Because you can't unprint the cards, right? Once you've reprinted these into the ground and they've taken every card that's worth anything over $50 and just print until it gets down to $5 to $10 and nobody really gets all that hyped or cares, and still try to sell $500 boxes. That's absurd. So all that's going to have to change. Once they actually get the reprinting under control responsibly, once they get the print quantities under control responsibly, and get rid of secret layers, which I absolutely think they should, except for like basic lands. Fine. Make as many basic land secret layers as you want, or common cards that have less than 25 cents in value. I think I'm all for that, and just putting crazy different art and make that collectible in its own way. Don't take the hype cards. Take the cards that nobody really cares about. Even Viscera Seer, that's great. How about you put out versions that people love? That's not how you fix Magic. How do you fix Magic? How do you get those cards out of circulation that you've already put into circulation to make some of the staples valuable again? A turn-in program. That for every card you turn in that's valuable like that, you get a box of the next set. So it doesn't cost them a whole lot. And then you get the next collector box. You turn in a Cavern of Souls, you get a collector pack or a collector box, when it gets down to like $10-15. Doubling season, Urza High Artificer. Doesn't matter. Any of these cards, how do they do it? They set turn-ins to get some of those cards, because people aren't going to burn their cards intentionally to make it a collectible again, but they could do goodwill by saying, hey, instead of going to Card Kingdom and all these other things, we can just print cards that cost us nothing to print and send the box out to you. even if you were to have to pay shipping. I think that would be a goodwill gesture. I think it would take cards out of circulation, and I think they should publicly hold a burning of all the cards that are turned in. You know, hey, these cards are definitely, we're not hiding them in some warehouse we're going to find again someday. These are all the cards that we've gotten out of circulation that we put in that should never have been, and publicly burn them. Shred them, burn them, whatever. Monster Truck Rally, shred them. That's how you fix the problem. And that's why I said I don't think that they'll ever do it. I think
There's
it would be
a zero
financially.
chance that happens.
I agree. But hey, it is a solution. It is something that would work and would fix the problem on multiple fronts. But it's the only real solution I can think of. Otherwise, people aren't going to let their cards go. But I think
as the game continues to grow and they stop
product.
reprinting shit, cards will go up in value.
No,
Right,
they won't.
yeah.
No, they
will.
won't. They
they
won't.
will.
There are too many. How long do you think it would take for Soul Ring to actually go up in value?
It's an uncommon.
The most base copy.
It's printed in everything. It can never go up
A
in
long
value.
time. Yeah. Take
Okay.
I would say now,
Birds
even if
of
they stopped
Paradise.
reprinting it now, I would say it still would never hold more value than $1 because it's printed in every single Commander deck. It's printed in almost
Agree.
every single
And so
reprint.
just extrapolate it across everything.
But cards
some
like
cards
Urza
will
High Lord
drift up.
Artificer could definitely
Here's-
rebound.
Here's
a
the
little bit.
problem.
yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
as soon as they drift up again, they'll go, oh, putting my hand back in the honey pot.
Right. Well,
and they
that's
just turn it
the
again.
issue we're talking
What's
about
gonna
is
stop them
that
from doing it
action.
again in the
Yeah.
future?
Well, they'd have to
Nothing.
stop that. Well, they would just
Yeah.
have to make a principle
Okay,
change.
I agree. But the
Yeah.
only way that they could get people to get the cards out of circulation, because the only other thing is to suddenly have the Magic player base tenfold increase to create the demand and stop printing the cards. That's the only way to fix the problem, besides saying send them back in as a redemption program, and we'll give you a Legends pack for every $1,000 worth of cards that you send in.
I have another solution.
Sure.
The card they would create a pseudo reserve. I mean, we've already talked about this. A pseudo reserve list where if a card has been reprinted within X years, it cannot be reprinted for the next 5 years or whatever. So if it's been reprinted in 5, it can't be reprinted in 5. And I bet you if they release an article that said that, I bet you Urza goes probably double in price. If they said we can't reprint this in 5 years, I bet you it doubles in price.
Nope.
And I bet you it's only a spike of people of Timmy's going, oh, gotta buy them all before they go up.
Gotta get it.
Yeah, I guarantee
It won't
happens all the
sustain.
time.
It won't
that's
sustain
what I'm
because there's
saying.
no
Yeah,
real
I think
market.
it's
You've
just
already
like-
saturated the market. Once you saturate a market, it's called market saturation for a reason.
I know.
It doesn't
just saying.
unsaturate naturally.
It will definitely create more value for the collectors if they did that. If
No,
they just didn't
I
reprint cards
disagree.
every 5 years.
The cat's already out of the bag. And here's what's even more devastating is that you have a lot of people like me, not the whales, and the whales have a say in this as well, but you have a great number of people that have bought boxes that are not released to the wild. My collection hasn't been released to the wild. At some point, when this goes to zero, you're going to have a whole lot. There's a lot of people that had diamond hands that are beginning to fold. All I hear from all the different sources that I talk to, when I'm talking to different LGSs, when I'm talking to Moxman, when I'm talking to other people behind the scenes, they're hearing more and more about how do I liquidate my collection?
Yeah.
How
I'll
do
be
I
honest.
sell my boxes?
I was looking at my
So there's a
401k.
whole lot. Dude, just forget about the prices that exist today. When they announced the Scarab God, you know who I thought of? The guy that's got 1,500 copies of it. And what if he releases his 1,500 copies on top of this reprint? Dude, that's a $2 card.
I
And
was
it's
looking at
not
my
going to come back
401k
up
and I was
fast.
like, all of this money that I spent behind me, if I just put that in my 401k, I would have made way more money.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
would've.
yeah.
But
I
that's
need
just
someone
it.
to
I
sell
can't
everything
put
right
any more.
now.
That's what I'm saying. My 401k is maxed. I can't put anything that I put in boxes in my 401k. My 401k is maxed. My HSA is maxed. And my Roth is maxed.
Can you not add you can't just deposit
No.
money into your 401k? Oh.
No, I'm already
Unfortunate.
over. Like I can't. Like I have
No,
to.
I meant
fix
like
it
you can't
because-
just like send them $500
No.
outside of your work.
No, you can
I don't
only
know how
no. You can
401ks
only
work.
put like $26,500 a year at my age. At your age, it's even less. It's $23,500 a year into your 401k. Period. End of story. That's it. The end. That's it. Go ahead and look. There's caps on Roth at
No, I know there's
7,500.
a cap, but that doesn't mean that I'm at my cap, even if I give
No,
them extra
okay,
money.
and I would bet that 90% of our audience. So when I say, and I'm not bragging,
Yeah.
I'm just telling people when I say financially, yeah, I mean it financially. You shouldn't be buying Magic. I've said it from the very beginning until you have your basics covered. And I don't know what to say. People are like, but then I can't buy any Magic. Well, then you shouldn't be.
Yeah, then don't. There's a lot of things
At a
I
bare
can't
minimum,
do.
if you don't have 6 months at a bare minimum, forget about 401k and Roth and everything. If you don't have 6 months of living expenses sitting in a bank account somewhere in cash, I mean liquid cash. I'm not talking about CDs. I'm talking about your life fell apart and you have to cash it in right this second. Then you shouldn't buy a single Magic card. You shouldn't even be buying proxies. That's just a basic fundamental of living responsibly, because your job could go away. Lots of things could go away. Health issue could happen. And then you're fucked. So that's the bare minimum line. Rudy talks about it. I talk about it. Moxman talks about it. And yeah, this is a game, goddammit. You need to get a grip on yourselves. Seriously. And it is just pure entertainment budget that this should come out of. And so that's why I say, when I say $600, look, folks, I can afford to piss that shit away. And I'm the one that's ranting and raving for all of you guys. You know, that God damn it. Y'all need to get yourself under control, because I can tell you, most people aren't prepared for any form of retirement. The average 55 to 65-year-old, do you know what they have put away for retirement?
Fuck all. Yeah,
nowadays. Like $105,000 is all they have. And that's for a household. How long are you going to live on $105,000?
5 years.
In America, not that fucking long.
And that's if your house is already paid off. Because I assume
you're out of your damn mind. Because first of all, as you're withdrawing the money out of that account, you have to pay taxes on it as its income. You don't just get to pull out of your 401k. So subtract at least 24% from that. I think it's 20%.
It depends on if you've already paid some of the stuff. I guess it depends if you're
no. In 401k you have paid no taxes. It's called a tax deferred investment program. Your Roth you can take out of.
In my 401k, I'm contributing 10% pre-tax and 5% after tax. So
not in your 401k, you're not.
I'm 100%. I can guarantee you I'm paying 10% in one and 5% in the other. I just looked at it. It says one's pre-tax and one's not. I mean, I'm not going to reveal it, but I can send you a screenshot of it, I guess.
No, whatever, dude. You're good.
I mean, I literally was just looking at it because I was like, what's my contributions right now? It says employer matches of contribution up to 4%, pre-tax 10%, Roth 5%.
Yes, Roth. Roth is not a 401k. That's post-tax money. Well, then 401k is pre-tax money.
Well, this is all one account. It's not like a separate account.
It doesn't matter. That's an account, you moron, not what you're investing in. That's an investment account. This is what I'm saying. People don't understand their financial well-being enough to even understand what the difference that they're putting money in. Jesus Christ.
But at least you're putting money in.
Yes,
and a lot of people aren't. That's one of the big things, is to make any, financial moves like that is smart. To be putting, future money away, to be saving.
After tax to 401k. And after tax 401k allows savers to put after tax money into a 401k account. That money can grow on a tax deferred basis. That doesn't make any sense. If it's after tax money, then why would it be tax deferred? If you've already paid the taxes on it, why would you pay it again?
Probably if you're earning interest on it, if you're accruing any value, you might be paying taxes on that portion, but deferred until the time.
But it's not interest. That's not how 401ks work. That's not interest. It's just value that increases.
Yeah.
Because you're buying stocks. It's not interest.
Yeah.
And you don't pay capital gains on stock gains. It's not how that works.
Shit, man. I got a guy for it. I just said.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So at any rate,
I have a due date.
Be financially responsible. I don't want this to turn into an investment program. There's lots of really good investment channels out there, and I highly recommend every one of you goes and looks at it. If you fail to plan to fail, and that looks really bad when you're old.
Oh, Jesus,
really bad, and it's not funny. And guess what? The more you age, the less employers want you. Like people just assume, well, I'll just work till I die. You don't always have that choice. Employers tend to cut you loose in your older years because you're lower productivity. They can hire people at a lower rate. you end up getting very undesirable jobs, undesirable hours, and if you can even stay employed. So people who even think, well, I just don't need a savings because I'll just keep working until I die. Well, you may not be able to. Rudy rocks.
I love the name Rudy Rocks.
It's Rudy. We've made it.
That'd be
Rudy's
cool.
on our channel. But I mean,
look
Rudy
at that.
does talk about these things, and you have to kind of read in between Rudy's bullshit. You know, like a lot of things he's tell you. He's a carnival barker. He's trying to sell some shit. Like him saying,
we went over that already tonight. Yeah, Matt was talking about the shit he was trying to sell.
But he also,
he was doing a pretty good service for the patrons, getting boxes down to 164, even if you do have to buy 48 of them. I mean,
$8,000
for the people that have that kind of money, the odds of you actually being able to, from anywhere else to buy it besides from distributors, pretty low. I mean, he definitely put money on the line.
I don't hate Rudy for that part, and I don't even hate him for like, shame on you if you know, you're buying stuff from him because, you know, it's Magic Beans. He's a Magic Bean salesman. Like that's your fault. And Rudy, he tells you straight up, if I buy your shit, I'm buying it at like 50%, 50 to 60% of its real value. And that's because he knows when he goes to sell it, you know, he's going to have to take losses. Like the value is never on what you see on TCG Player. I hate to tell you that. If you crack a pack and it's $80 on TCG Player, no, it's not, because they take 15% plus you have to pay shipping. And then if you make over $600 a year on TCG Player, you're getting a $10.99. I think they're even cutting that number down.
Yeah, I believe
Ed knows more about that. So, yeah, again, folks, it's not what you think it is. And cards are never the value that you think you're going to get on TCG Player, or the only real value is like what Ed showed, and that was from like Card Kingdom buy list. Like that's the real value. Or if you're going to go out there and sell it, you know, mano a mano for cards.
I'll say what you need to do is go on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist.
to do that, you know,
Walmart parking lot.
You can get your $50 for your Cavern of Souls, but you can't do that en masse. You can't do that at any appreciable level. And then it's the gas you have to subtract driving to the Walmart parking lot and back. And then that's just assuming your time,
you know, once you
time
see it there,
is worth
like,
zero, meaning you couldn't have done anything else in that time to make money. So
Gotta
subtract all of that.
$12 Baconator. Subtract $12 from that.
Right, and you sold a $6 card for $6. Yeah, you win.
15 minutes from your life.
So it's, again, you know, it's not what you think it is. And you know, Moxman goes into that, and he does a pretty good series on like liquidating your stuff and what your real value is out of your collection, out of your sealed and whatnot. So that's why I say my boxes. You know, we talked about exit strategy before. Yeah, I mean, I'm still itching for anybody to play you know, over Spell Table with me, and I'll bust open my gifts from Miss Sherry Vegas, who I haven't seen pop in and tell me she loves me tonight. But she got me those, and I thought that was amazing. What?
No, she hasn't popped in. Son of a gun.
I know. Yeah, Sherry Vegas hasn't popped in. But you know, I want to, like, that's what Matt can attest to it. I'll bring boxes over and crack them with the guys when I do come over.
Oh, I plan to bring something to GenCon with us so that we can actually do some fun stuff there.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what I'm going to bring, but I'm just going to look behind me. I'm like, what do I feel like doing?
I want to bring like a commander box and draft that, you know, to try commander raids as a draft.
Yeah, we can do that. I specifically changed my phone plan to unlimited data for next month so that I can not have to worry about data and do live streams and stuff like that. So it should be good.
I think you're optimistic that you're going to have the kind of connectivity where you can stream live. You might have to do it from your
we're in
hotel
fucking
room
2023. If I don't have, I mean, we were able to do it outside Vegas. I wasn't connected to their Wi-Fi.
There's a lot more people at Gen Con by about 5 times.
Sure.
All trying to hit the internet at the same time.
Yeah, but if I'm on the cell towers, it's going to be less.
How many people do you think are going to be on them same cell towers, bro? I'm telling you.
How many people are going to be live streaming using that much bandwidth? Like the thing that uses the most bandwidth is like live streaming or downloading videos. Or
how many people?
Videos.
Thousands are going to be trying. That's how many people. Because it's not just Magic.
But that's
it's going to be
across T-Mobile, Sprint, AT&T, Verizon.
Right. All right,
all the major characters. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to try it. It's better to prepare and try than not prepare.
I say we try it outside, like when we can, at least first to go live. Hey, we're here at GenCon. We're gonna go in and or I'll have already bought, hopefully, at Lorcana booth. Maybe you bump into me while I'm waiting in line, sweating my ass off, standing outside in the heat.
Oh yeah, I haven't looked at the weather.
Yeah, we're in the 70s in Ohio, but I don't know if Indiana's the same.
It's gonna be hot.
I don't even know what their weather is going to be like.
Hot.
I've never been to Indiana.
It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be in the 80s. You're gonna see me standing. You'll be able to find me standing in line. It'll be the puddle, that's moving forward.
I'll definitely I'll bring a fan.
Bringing a bottle
one
of
of those handheld fans. Those handheld fans are a godsend, honestly. $10 on Amazon. They're really good. They last hours.
But so at any rate, that's what I think they can do to fix Magic. I agree with you. I would say 0% chance. Well, zero until first off, the things that have to happen is number one, WotC has to admit a mistake because they're not going to come out with a new policy. It'd be very weird, or just the policy itself would be an admission. Like you said, they have to stop first. You have to stop the bleeding before you can hack the leg off. Then they have to give up free money to players. It's like a rebate. Oh, sorry for taking it from you. Here, you can have it back.
No, I ain't gonna do that.
No, it's not happening.
I agree. Look, I just proposed what would work, not what they're going to do. I think they're going to ride.
Which one of us is stoned, Bob? Come on, get out of here with that.
I didn't say it's what they're going to do. I said it's the only solution I can see to fix the problem. You can't unprint the cards. You've opened Pandora's box. Genie's out of the bottle. However you want to phrase it. Horse left the barn. You can't get those copies back.
You know what's great about the reprints is that the one positive side.
Can you highlight that, please? That should be a goddamn T-shirt or a bumper sticker.
The one thing that I enjoy about the reprints is that when I make a commander deck for a league that I'm in and I have a budget of $500, I know that by the next week I can hit this little button. I click on more.
It'll be less.
And then I go update the cheapest, and I'm like, hey, look, I just got $14 more to add to the budget. I can swap in better cards. Seriously, I just did that. It was at $4.99.
And that's how rapidly card singles are losing value. So people that keep saying, well, you should be buying singles. There was an argument today, and I'm like, no, you're a fucking Timmy, because even the singles are crashing hard-faced. And they're going to continue to, because that's the intentional plan of WotC at this point. They're doing this on purpose, folks. Period.
Yeah, that's
there was a thing that Jake and Joel did. It was Jake. He did a what I'm buying video, and I like watching a lot of his videos. He does a lot of analytics.
Mine would be very short. We should do one right now.
I was gonna do that as a joke. Yeah. I was gonna do that as a joke. What I'm buying, and then just end the video.
All right. All right. Pat, you have 10 seconds. Go. What are you buying of WotC products?
For Magic the Gathering products, currently I'm buying nothing, and all of the Lord of the Rings boxes, the gift bundles that I bought, I believe have been destroyed in a recent flood in Vermont. So the only stuff I was going to buy for the fucking year has been destroyed.
Wait, you never got those bundles?
No, dude. Yeah, I've contacted the post office. So they're delivering mail out of trucks in the fucking College of Fine Arts in Vermont. Like they can't go to the post office. I talked to the postmaster there, and he's like, we got everything that was salvageable, and it was like a small sack. He's like, pretty much everything that was there got destroyed, so we'll know in the next couple of weeks if there was anything that we can do for you, but otherwise, no.
So what happens to your money?
I'm not sure, but I believe the post office might refund me something. Okay. Yeah, I think there's like a certain insurance that you hold as a post
there
office
has to be something.
holder. Yeah.
What about you, Matt? Go. You got 10 seconds. What are you buying Magic?
At the moment, I have pre-ordered the Commander Masters Commander decks, and then I also have pre-ordered Doctor Who Commander decks.
Interesting. I canceled my Commander Master pre-cons.
I did not. I got them at 271. That's pretty fucking low.
Bob, you got 10 seconds. What are you buying in Magic the Gathering?
Let me tell you everything I'm buying in Magic.
He's going to buy a Moonshaker Calvary for 35 cents when it gets released.
Yeah, right?
I seriously don't think that card's going to see play. I think it'll be $1.
I think you're smoking shit. I think this is going to be a $25 to $40 card at release, and then it'll tank down to like playability range will be much like what was that one that you were so hyped on from the green one about the treasures from Streets of New Capenna, Bootlegger Stash.
Bootlegger Stash, yeah.
This will be the next Bootlegger Stash. What is Bootlegger Stash now, dude? Hold on, let's take a guess. I haven't checked. Pat, what do you say? Matt, don't look, you cheater.
I already
Pat,
Googled this.
You son of a bitch.
I'm guessing.
I'm on TCG already.
So Pat, without Googling,
he's Googling it. He's Googling it.
Oh, I'm looking it up now, but I just know that my actual guess was wrong. 18. I was definitely very far off.
It's 18?
No, that's my guess.
Oh, I'm going to say it's $7.
My guess was going to be 10, but it's not.
Oh, damn, I was even off. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I expect this to be the next Bootlegger Stash.
Yeah. Yeah. It's $3.33 on TCG Player now.
You know what's funny about this card is I got trashed for this one, and
it was over $20. Like, I get it.
I bet it
I
was.
still think it's a good card for specific scenarios. It's great.
But hold on. So I went on Nikachu's channel when I was a guest on his channel, and they were asking me my opinion about Streets of New Capenna, and the two cards that they were asking.
Oh, you're on Nikachu's?
Huh?
Nice. I didn't know you were on Nikachu's. Oh, nice.
Yeah. And it was Bootlegger Stash, and because people in the audience asked me what my prediction was for Bootlegger Stash and most Ob Nixilis. And I said that they're gonna don't buy them. They're gonna crash to the ground. I said at the time, I think I'd have to go back and watch Nikachu's channel, that I think that Ob Nixilis, which was like a $65 card at the time, I said I think it's going to be $10. And I think I even said Bootlegger Stash, I think is going to be a $10 card.
Yeah, and Bob, are you interested in selling your hat?
No.
Benson wants to buy it.
Benson's into that. Like he's so hard up for that.
You can't get Chief Wahoo no more. It's politically incorrect, and I give a shit. Like my hat. But no. Thank you, Benson. But no. I don't sell Magic cards. I don't sell my shit. I like my shit.
Sell hats. I will sell some bath water. That's about it. We're not there yet, Bob. When we can start selling bathwater and beard hair and shit, it'll be great.
Ooh, I have a long beard. I can just start cutting locks of it to sell it.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna sell my dual brain pin.
No, mine's on my fridge.
Do you know where I got this and when I got this? Did he give you one, Matt?
He didn't give me one, but he gave me this.
Oh,
that's cool. Yeah, those are cool too.
Oh, speaking of pins, MTG Box Analysis gave me 3 stickers and 3 pins.
I want one. Bring one to GenCon for me.
Yeah, cool. That's exactly it. That's why I'm saying something.
What does my shirt say? Or are you just saying I'll sell you my shirt? No,
I think he wants to buy your shirt now.
So I got this for Father's Day. I don't know if you can read it.
I work in it.
I work in it. What people
it's IT, here. But I say work in it.
I can Google better than average.
So, no, I won't sell my underwear or my shirt or any other hat or clothing item I have. I'm sorry, I don't do that. I won't sell anything. You're more likely for me to give you things like, and I probably owe people some of these, and I haven't given them to them. So you got to remind me, Pat, to bring some to GenCon if you want them. I thought I sent some to you. Did I not?
Oh no, not the dual lands.
You gave me mine.
Foil shiny goodness that are double-sided dual lands.
No, those are dope though.
My only complaint with them is that they're dull.
Yeah, they are a little, but I think that was the image quality. I think it was the image quality that I gave them. It was the highest res I could get. And I think it also has to do with the fact that, just because of that and their foil, that I mean, they're flat. Them are some pancake cards, broseph.
Yeah,
I use them
on my decks.
But I just wanted to try them out. But You know, I gave some of that
away my pickle jar because I just ate the last pickle from
and
it.
I
So
will give away at
Ugh,
any
pickles.
place that you see me in
Gross as
public. I
shit.
will give
Great.
these away.
Pickles
yeah,
are
we
like
definitely-
the worst thing in the world.
The spelling error tokens.
Okay,
that I
so
have
that's gonna be a thing though, Bob. Is
You
like
should sign them as
legit.
like a. They're like a.
No, no.
Yeah, they're like a.
Yeah. It's
a
gonna be an
misprint.
old school error. Like
Right?
yeah. It's
At some point in the future, these will be the most desired tokens because they have the spelling error on them.
Yeah, they've got the like.
They're not actually a spelling
highlighter.
error. It's just I didn't
it's not a
remove the
spelling
spelling error on.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's pretty
Kinda
funny
sucks.
though.
Yeah.
Oh, that is like an honest possibility if this shit keeps going the way it is. I think we're at what 970 at this point, so we're
It's
getting
floating
there.
around 969 to 970. We're like 30 away from the 1,000, the 1K mark. It's a big mark. We'll do something cool for it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, Richie Dubs, you cannot. That'd be a no. All right, I'll make a deal with you, Richie Dubs. You
I
can
gotta
buy a
edit
1 ounce.
Yeah, edit
You
it.
can buy 1 ounces of pickle juice
30
from the
more.
jar in my fridge because we definitely always have pickles in my fridge. The girls are just nutso about it.
Pickles are great.
If you pay the shipping, but here's the stipulation: I will never come to another one of your live streams. You make the choice.
True.
I will sell you my pickle juice, but
I gotta
no
say
more
that's
Bob on your
something I
stream.
am very much so looking forward to the trip to Indianapolis. There are at
Food?
least a few restaurants I definitely want to hit up. This is
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
want
some tasty
food.
shit.
I've
What do
done
you guys?
that.
Do you have a palate for anything you want to get into? You want to hit up a fancy Italian restaurant? I'm personally
Anything
really
Don't
non-
ask him if he wants to go to dry aged steaks. That shit's fucking expensive.
Oh fuck
He
that!
took
do
me
it.
into that in Vegas.
No,
It was
what-
like a
what I
$100
want-
goddamn bill.
There's
like,
one of
wow.
those Ruth Chris's there.
Hold on, there was something I wanted. I already ate the dried steak, but there was another thing that was expensive that I wanted to try.
Some beluga caviar and
They're
escargot.
not expensive, but I want to try fresh cooked scallops because I made them myself, but they were from frozen and they were just okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But like I would
Scallop?
like it from like a reputable scallops. I've been
Scallops
I keep
aren't that
being heard.
expensive. I mean,
No, I know,
anything
they're not
can be
expensive, but
expensive if
they're-
you want to pay a shitload of money, but it's just not expensive in general. What I would say to target instead of the dry aged steak is Kobe beef, real Kobe beef.
I've already had Kobe beef.
Ooh.
Wagyu. No, a nice Japanese Wagyu steak would be really pricey but good.
Jesus,
You've had a Kobe beef steak.
I have. My dad and I went.
Where'd you go?
It's a steak place down in Cleveland.
Red?
I don't even know. A steak shop? What do you call them? A steak restaurant?
Steakhouse.
Steakhouse. That's right. I was like, for some reason, I can't think of what the
regular
fuck's it
word.
called?
And Steak and Shake does not count. That's not a real steakhouse.
No, it was Morton's.
Morton's is reputable. Okay, they probably had it.
But yeah, I remember having. It
It
was
was
a while
probably
ago. It
expensive
was
as
many
balls.
years ago. I was like $200 for just my dad and I, and that was a few years ago. That was like 7 years ago. It was a very long time ago.
Dude, the steak that I had in Japan, the Kobe beef steak that I had I had it on the. It was a place called the Four Seasons, and they had what is it called, the hibachi, where they come out and
Yeah, I love that shit.
and it was $100 for a 6-ounce steak,
Yeah,
and that was in 1995 or 6.
that's what I said. Our Vegas meal, although
That
it
shit
was
was
expensive, I still think a dry aged steak for $89 is not that bad.
That
In
mine wasn't
Vegas.
89. You're out of your mind. It wasn't $89.
The steak alone for me was $89.
No, it was more than that.
No, it was $89. You can go look at the menu if you want.
Oh, we
but
did
the
have a
steak
couple
was-
of drinks. Those
Yeah,
drinks
the
must have
steak
been
was
super
89. We had
expensive.
two. I had
and like the
two
mashed
drinks.
potatoes were fucking.
Yeah, and
like
the mac and cheese I had was like
$30.
$18. Yeah, the mac and cheese was like $18. The steak was like $89. The wine was like $20 for the glass. It was like fucking like it was everything else. The steak itself was only $89. I say only $89. But it was like a 6 or an 8 ounce. It tasted great.
So just be
Honestly,
careful.
Yeah.
Matt might suck you into that freaking vortex of.
I don't
money.
think there's anything in Indiana that actually is like high class. I don't know. It just didn't
There's a
seem like
couple of restaurants that are pretty decent looking, but
I'm just gonna say this. I think you guys are crazy.
I'd rather try
You're
and
gonna
find
get
like
in
fucking, I'd rather try and find like Chinatown and like hit up some shit like that.
Good luck. Good luck. And then you're not going to want to leave once you actually get to the convention because it's such a pain in the balls to get parked and get to the convention. I mean, like you leave, you're done for the day.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
we can walk. I have to imagine there's a bunch of places in walking distance.
Okay, good luck with that,
dude. We walked
There's a
for
bunch
over
of stuff.
45
Yeah.
miles in Vegas. I think we can walk. All right. I'm
not
bringing better
walking like we
shoes
did in
this time
Vegas.
for sure.
Yeah,
Fuck that.
I just bought like new insoles for my shoes this last week, so it's like, yep.
I'm bringing two pairs of shoes. I'm bringing the shoes that I like that are cool looking.
Brutal.
Oh, it was
and I suffer from diabetic neuropathy, which means my feet hurt. And Matt's like, "Hey, let's walk 80 miles for the next 5 days." I'm like, "No, bro."
I would
honestly shit myself on the walk.
I would
poop at a bus station. That was some sketchy shit.
We should have just rented a car. I would have driven.
I would not want to do that either.
You act like it was
the right way to go.
I would have driven. That's fine. It's not that big a deal.
Uber was definitely the right call.
Nah, I would.
The bus is definitely not the right call. Uber is definitely the right call.
Yeah, the bus was horrible.
Yeah, I'm not looking to ride the city bus.
It was not great. It was cheap, but it was not great. My experience in Vegas.
There were a couple of times when I rode like
such
the bus
big highs and lows. It was wild. I had such good and bad times.
At one point, I took a bus from Montpelier, Vermont to Hartford, Connecticut. God, that was a terrible experience.
It could have been worse though.
I'll be honest. I think the most that I saw Matt light up, and I was very surprised. For his birthday, I got us tickets to the Tournament of Kings, and Matt was actually all into it. And huzzah! It was really interesting to watch.
It's basically Knights of the Round Table and dinner. So you watch like a play, it's like a dinner and a show basically in Vegas.
And we were like,
kind of like medieval times or something.
I'm pretty sure we were front row, is what I got.
Yeah, we were front row. Yeah.
Our guy did not win. He was kind of a dick.
No, he didn't win.
He was doing all the douchebaggy stuff.
Do they just like draw straws and like whoever draws the straw
wins? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they draw straws, but I don't know how it works, but it's not the same one every time. But it looked like you genuinely had a good time there, which is I'm really pleased.
Yeah, it was
with.
good. Yeah, it was. That was one of the highs, and then the lows was walking 6 miles to try to get my COVID test, and then failing, and then having to do it again the next day.
Dude, the worst for me was when we tried to walk to the gold pawn shop.
Oh, God,
I was just miserable on that walk. That was terrible.
We
got there. Yeah, you know the show Pawn Stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, we walked to the
right up to it, and then he's like, "Nah, fuck it."
We went across the street, and there was a line, and we had already walked so fucking much.
Yeah.
Honestly,
my hot. It was like 60 degrees out, but
weird.
Standing in the sun, you're just like,
yeah, I was sweating. I'm like, it's like 65, and I'm like, how am I sweating? I'm just like drenched.
It was like, what the fuck? Murderous sweat.
That is weird, man.
And he's like, fuck it, I don't want to go there anymore. Let's just get an Uber and go. We're right across the street from it.
Yeah. I'm like, what am I really going to buy for this fucking place? You know what? Fucking, I'm just.
I did enjoy going to the Carl's Jr. with you. That was kind of very cool. I haven't been to a Carl's Jr. in a long time, and it was.
I've never been.
Kind of a shithole, but it was. I enjoyed it.
It was a little bit of a.
It was sketchy, man.
There's like a fucking there was a dude that had like a homeless guy inside just sleeping on the bed. It was pretty sketchy. Man.
Shit all over the table. There's not a clean table in the place.
Yeah, we had to wipe it down ourselves, you know.
And it was only like knocking the dust off it. Like, don't put your elbows on the table; they'll stick. It was interesting. It was down at the kind of shadier end of the strip. They really didn't have a lot of like outside pre-shows. Like that's all gone away. When I lived there, you know, they had like the pirate show outside the Treasure Island, and you know, the Bellagio still does its thing. But there was just like I remember just always being more stuff on the strip. Now it's just a bunch of naked butt ladies trying to get your picture with them.
That was pretty nice. That was also another highlight of the trip.
I don't know. There's a lot of naked butts I did not want to see there.
Well, sure. You just don't look at those.
There was a whole lot of shaking going on some of them girls.
Yeah.
But it was all, and the amount of weed, holy shit. Everywhere we turned, I was like, God, bro, like I'm not offended normally, but that was bad. Like walking out of a door and you're just in a cloud of fucking somebody pulling a hard toke off a shitty weed. That was pretty bad. I did not enjoy that. So there were some sort of shadier parts, and the people talking to themselves. You saw the dude that was working out like on the walkway in the morning, the homeless guy that's doing a stretching exercise.
Hell yeah.
Talking to himself the whole time he's doing it.
Shape, dude.
It's just wow, that was pretty rough. So the strip was something. I think I got it out of my system. I don't feel any desire to go back. I'm sorry I'm not going to see Ed at he's going back again.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of people. I don't think it's going to be nearly the same experience as it was the first one. I think Gen Con would be a far better experience, something different flavor, more
I'm certainly looking forward to it. There's going to be a lot of like cool shit.
No, he's talking about Vegas again. They're doing another.
Ed's going to Vegas 30 again, the wrap up one, and I just don't think it's going to be nearly the same experience as it was the first time around. I think this would be a far better experience going to Gen Con because there'll be lots of different things, just even outside of Magic. To get, I'm a gamer. So
I think correct in seeing that Moonshine Ripping a Ship's gonna have a booth there?
Yeah,
he said that
Moonshine. Ripping Ship by Moonshot.
Moonshine Rip It by drinking
Moonshot. Yeah,
Rip a shot.
Yeah.
He said he's gonna have a booth. He's gonna have a. That's pretty cool.
Well, but Lance is only gonna be there one day. He said I'd like to meet up with him. Alex from Ashen Wings was supposed to go, but is not.
Yeah, he moved to Colorado, so yeah, he is no longer close.
So that's kind of unfortunate. I would like to have met him. And anybody that's gonna that's watching this and wants to go and meet up with us, let us know.
By Moonshine.
Getting ripped and shipped by Moonshine.
Well, it's held for review because it's. Do we show that one? Or we just leave that one there.
What's that?
There's a comment by Richie. It says "rip and shit by Moonshine."
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah.
Dude, I don't care. You know how I feel about the whole financial.
Whatever.
Oh, Bob, they got a Buca de Beppo here.
I like Buca de Beppos, but
yeah, I know you mentioned it last time we never went.
What the fuck are those words?
It's an Italian restaurant.
It's basically you don't order like your own plate. You order like a family style. Everybody eats the same thing, big ass plate of like spaghetti or whatever, and it's just
family style Italian.
Yeah, and that's what that means. I love Buca de Beppos. Their food is good. It's a good solid plate. It's expensive, but it's good. It's like $70.
It only has 2 money signs next to it.
Well, I mean, it depends on how many people eat. I'm fat for a reason. I think none of us are skinny boys. So I mean, it's enough to feed people. But I like it. It's fine.
I've made a rule. As long as I'm in Ohio, I stay on keto until I'm down to my goal weight. But the moment I leave Ohio, all bets are off.
All bets are off.
Yeah.
Well, it has to be sort of off, and I think you guys are going to be.
Oh yeah.
Kind of disappointed that it's going to be a lot of like hot dogs and French fries kind of thing. Maybe
you think I am upset with that? If that is what I eat a lot of, get the fuck out of here. That I don't love chicken nuggets and tater tots, Bob. That is like
I ain't gonna cheat on my diet and potentially gain weight for that shit. I want some good shit. I want some good pizza.
It's just gonna be a matter of convenience. There is a mall that has like a mall food court, so you can go to like Panda Express.
Well, what I'm saying is Pat and I are going a day early, so we're gonna hit up at least 2 or 3 food places.
Well, I'm going a day early, but I'm going to bed at like 9 o'clock at night, so I can be up at 5 and get there by 6.
We might do that, but like at the same time,
nah, you guys don't have to. I'll let you know.
I mean,
you guys
I think
aren't
my
as hyped
flight
about
gets
when is it open?
6 or something.
I don't know. I'll be
we're
honest with you,
definitely
I
going to be doing dinner that night.
But it's usually like 9 or 10. I want to say. There's a tournament that I'm supposed to be at 9 o'clock.
Open,
but they kind of open the doors a little bit early, for you to get in.
Lucas Oil Stadium, 3 to 6. What time?
It's not Lucas Oil. It's the convention center. But
GenCon announced
there are events that start at 9 o'clock, so I think they have to open the doors by like 8 for you to get in place for the tournaments and things. You just look at events, like look at the events calendar, see what the first event is. So figure you got to be in because they have to get people in. They have to allow people in to do their will call, to go like you guys, pick up your badges and shit. They're going to do that early on the day. They're going to let you get in line because there's like inner doors, kind of like what you saw, only to a much bigger degree. When you were at Vegas, you know how you have like the lines that they let people get into, and then there's the inner doors to the inner part where the actual sales floor and game floor is. Now the game floor and the sales area are separated by like a wall, so they're not in the same area like they were in Vegas. But it's much bigger. It's much bigger than Vegas was, like at least twice.
Most of the doors to the exhibit open at 10, but last year and possibly always the doors in the Hall C open at 10:30. Oh yeah, so I doubt I'll be there at 6.
I don't know how that they can do that when there's a 9 o'clock tournament for Magic the Gathering that I'm already signed up for.
I don't know. I just
like go look at the schedules of events. I'm signed up at 9 a.m.
Exhibit hall opens at 10 a.m. Thursday. Yes, that is what you're asking about. At least it has in the past. Most of the doors in the exhibit open at 10, but last year and possibly always the doors open at 8 and 10:30. I don't know. This is on GenCon.
But there's going to be like the outside doors that people are going to be lining up to. And then as soon as they open those doors to get into the air-conditioned space where there's like inner hallways, but it won't let you into the exhibit area. Like I want to get in line. And I think people are going to be getting in line early as fuck.
Get in line. All right.
Get in line. Queue up. Why don't you?
So I if there's only a handful of draft boxes of Lorcana, I want to grab one. I have a feeling that's
are you going to rip
and
shit with Moonshine?
No.
If you get a box of Lorcana, no.
Are you going to open any of your Lorcana product?
No. That depends on how much they have. I mean, if they have
such a cool game to not open it and play it.
If I could get 2 sets of starter decks, then yeah, I'll open starter decks.
I think it would be cool if we were able to get starter decks and play against each other and make content of that, like at GenCon, like.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But if I could only get 1 set of starter decks, what if that's the only starter decks I ever get my hands on? Because I'm being told by all my LGSs that I already have pre-orders in, don't hold your breath. And I don't want to be paying $100 for a goddamn starter deck. So, and I would feel really bad to like open it. I don't know, maybe 1. It depends. It's just going to depend on what they have and the available quantity and what I get as confirmation from any of the sources I've tried to get Lorcana. If you try to go out there, like I don't recommend trying to buy online from people. I think you're going to, especially if they're the ones that like let you take a reservation to buy, fine.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But the ones that are taking your money right now, no, don't do that. It's a bad idea. I think you're going to give them a free loan.
The event halls are different. So there's the exhibit where like the main room opens differently than the game. Like you were saying, the game playing is on a separate area. So the game playing starts at 9, but the exhibit halls open at 10.
And I'm scheduled for a 9 o'clock jumpstart Lord of the Rings for Magic. So they have
the will call
even
line
if it
is
starts
open
at 9
noon on Wednesday. So yeah, so
Yeah,
Pat, on Wednesday we'll pick up our badges on Wednesday, Pat. Whenever you arrive,
okay,
we'll drive over there and pick them up. Get a lay.
We'll be there Wednesday night. Maybe if we wait. What time are you guys going to be there? We expect to arrive sometime Wednesday night, probably between like 8 or 9. We might eat dinner there. I don't know, or we might eat
probably be there Wednesday. I'll have to be there before Pat arrives. I don't know.
Yeah, my flight says it should arrive at 6:01 p.m. in Indianapolis.
I probably shouldn't be working this out online. By the way,
I'll be there before. I'll be there before 4.
Okay,
perfect.
So we'll work out those details offline. Thanks everybody for sticking with us tonight, and hopefully you get something positive out of everything that we said. I actually like the Moonshaker Cavalry behind me. I think it's a sort of Craterhoof light. I think it's going to be one of the more pushed cards, clearly because they've already spoiled it. And clearly they think it's one of the best cards. And clearly it's a very expensive mana cost for the card. And it's mythic, as you can see behind me. So I would expect this to be one of the pushed cards out of that set besides the reprints. We know the doubling season is getting a reprint, and I expect it to already drop. I expect by Christmas, I would expect doubling season to be no more than a $40 card. I don't think it'll sustain, and I won't be surprised if it's down around 30. And if when they reprint it again, like they're going to try to get this Joker down to like a $20 card. So the one behind me, I predicted to be more like Bootlegger Stash. It'll have a lot of hype. It'll be very pushed, and it will fall, from grace. I agree with Matt. It's nowhere near because it doesn't have trample or haste like Craterhoof, which is part of what makes it great. Plus, it's already in green, which is easy to get out, and in white, this is going to be tough to get out. So, I don't think it'll have the same impact that Craterhoof Behemoth will have. And Craterhoof Behemoth is down to what now? It just got the reprint. Has anybody looked at it lately? I'm going to guess it's under 20. It's got to be
it's way.
I'll bet it's under 20.
I just looked at it. It was like 30 something, wasn't it? 21, 25, 21 to 25.
Yeah, a $25 version of it.
The lowest I see is 21.41. Yeah, I'm looking at TCG, and that's for near mints 23.79.
And that's before cards have actually even hit the market.
It was 34, and then it plummeted ever since it got announced.
Yeah, and understand this is pre-release numbers, right? That I've seen people opening Commander Masters, but I think that's just the pre-release stuff from guys who got their product early. So I would expect this to be no more than a $5 card ultimately.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's maybe $5.
I think it'll see play. I disagree with you that it won't see play. I don't think it'll see widespread play like Craterhoof Behemoth. If that's what you're saying, no, Craterhoof Behemoth will always see
play in Commander as like a. It's just if you're playing white green, why would you ever play? Why would you ever play this over Craterhoof? Just play Craterhoof, and you don't need this.
Why not play both?
Because you don't need to. Why? What do you need to do that for?
Because
you got Craterhoof, you win.
You have two. If Craterhoof gets countered, removed from the game.
I don't know. I don't think people care too much about that. But it's not a terrible card. It's not bad.
If you're playing white green, why wouldn't you play this in place of Craterhoof? Because it's white and it's not green. Why wouldn't you play Craterhoof in place of this if you're playing white that doesn't have a green?
I don't see anybody playing this in like a mono white deck. And then
I'm not saying mono white. There's plenty of other
be able to ramp,
things that
you're just going to
white is usually not. Most people don't play mono white. They usually play white with something else.
And then there's that other Craterhoof, the Razor Horn Pig or something.
All I'm saying is that this can go in decks that are like white blue control, white black. There's white blue spirits, right? Isn't that a big thing? Put a bunch of spirits out.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The only bad part about that is this is a spirit, and if it goes in spirits deck, don't spirits normally have flying to begin with?
That's what I was saying. They already have flying. Oh, End Raised Forerunners. That's the other Craterhoof.
It's not really.
Okay.
It's
solid. It's good.
It's more, in my opinion, it's a more Craterhoof than the Moonshaker Calvary. And this is a 19-cent card.
It's being a Craterhoof. It's a Craterhoof-like card for different colors.
8 mana for 7/7 Vig, Trample, Haste. Gives all your creatures 2/2 Vig and Trample. In my opinion, it's still better than Moonshaker, and this is a 19-cent card.
I don't agree with that at all. There's too many times that people block that. It's just not big enough. But at any rate, thanks everybody for sticking with us. If you stuck with us this long, please remember to hit the like and subscribe. Keep paying attention. We're not going to be here for the next 2 weeks, but keep paying attention to our channel for some videos that we're going to give you next week. I won't be here for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, I get a personal thing. The weekend after, I have to go down to Virginia.
We'll be here, just not next week.
However, keep an eye on the channel for some updates from GenCon. It may not have a lot to do with Magic, but hopefully we'll give at least some more content.
Even if we're not able to do live stuff, we're going to be able to do some recordings and then upload while we are abroad. So make sure,
depending on the situation, we might be able to do a live Cardboard Conversations.
Oh, shit.
In Indiana,
all of us just in a room having beers. Oh, my God.
Or outside.
Possible.
Yeah, if the time aligns, keep an eye on the channel. We'll try to like give a warning ahead of schedule if we can.
Hit up the community tab.
Yep.
But we'll try to get something out for you guys. Try to give you a fresh look from Gen Con. See if it's something you guys want to go to, because I can guarantee you I will be going again to Gen Con. I don't know if I'll do it next year, but it'll certainly be on the docket for me at some point in the future. And we're always, at least, Matt and I can't speak for Pat, but we're always open to meeting, parts of the community. I don't even want to say channel fans, but that's what you are. Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But we're open. We like meeting people. That's sort of like the best part. I hope we get to meet lots of cool people, like Ketchup Popsicle, when we were out at Vegas. So hopefully we'll bump into some new people. We'll try to spread the Commander raids vibe out at Gen Con, get some more people into it. And hopefully you guys will catch us there.
Heck yeah. Until next time, take care, everybody.